Hey guys, and welcome. Hey Rakshan, how we doing? How we doing? Do you know what? It's really nice to be back being consistent with streaming. It's yeah, it makes me smile actually. I'm really happy to be back. But how are we doing, my friend? I hope everybody is doing really well. So today we are going to be doing a land battle tournament for ODM, which is a French clan, one of the best clans that Warhammer has to offer for multiplayer, which is really exciting. So let's have a look here. So we are going to be having the players. So we're going to be having Mofet going up against Hard Rust Warrior. In the other semi-final, it's going to be Zombie Quest going up against ODM AC Maiden or the Phoenix King. So lots to be seen here going forward. Doing good, editing thumbnails on the other screen, fantastic, love to see that. Hope we're all doing really well today. Mossy, hello, hello. ODM, ODM, ODM. And also guys, what do you think ODM stands for? You guys think only duck memes. I love that, I love that. I love it, fantastic stuff, fantastic stuff. Alright, so we are going to be playing on the Southern Chaos Wastes. And I believe the way this works, let's have a little look. So I believe there's all sorts of bans and non-bans and bans that ban bans and all that kind of stuff. You can't play a faction twice. At the start of each match, players have one global ban. So I think both players, let's say someone doesn't want to play against my dwarfs, they ban my dwarfs. I don't want to play against, what's up there, like vampire counts or something like that. So I don't want to play that, we can ban that. And then it's just player one, pick one, ban one, and yeah, I think that's it pretty much. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the we have the rules, which is normal banner rules, the fruit rule thing. Sorry, fruit rules, and yeah, that's it. That seems to be all hunky dory. Seems to be what we're doing. Yo. Everyone knows it's Order of Dowie Maze, of course. Order of Dowie Maze. Oh, I should have thought about that. Only duck memes, mate. This is the one it's going to be, of course. But how are we all doing, everybody? Hope we're doing well. So we're going to be in, I think this is the semi-final. This is the first one. Second semi-final will be up next. And then, of course, best of 5 final. I will be coaching... I say coaching, I do apologise. I will be co-casting with ODM Alfredino, which should be pretty fun. The man, the myth, the legend is well known for his knowledge in the multiplayer scene. So, here on the Southern Chaos Wastes, relatively flat-ish map. Looks like we are going to be having the vampire counts going up against the Warriors of Chaos. So let's try and see if we can get Alfredino talking. So I know that the vampire counts used to be absolutely oppressive, like beyond belief oppressive. Like they were like super strong. Like they were so strong on their healing that they used to out-heal the damage from corn or something absurd, which is insane. So yeah, they are pretty powerful. I think they have been nerfed considerably, but we'll have to see as time goes. But it looks like my Mofet's going to be ready. Russ is just going to be obviously picking up the finer details. But I think in the old school matchup, Warriors of Chaos used to get kind of dumpstered by Vampire Counts. Like it was pretty close, but you know you always knew that Vampire Counts were normally going to win when it came to top tier gameplay. Is there anything that's really changed? There's been a lot of changes for the Warriors of Chaos. So there's probably a lot of elements you could bring in. I don't know if the Beast of Slanesh, let me see if I can find it here. Where's Warriors of Chaos? I've got all the notes here because I don't know them off by head anymore. It's like Warriors of Chaos. Maybe not too much has changed. Doesn't look like too much has changed. No, it doesn't look like too much. Just like for the Vampire Counts. Crypt Horrors, Helm and Gorse, and Necromancers were changed. Apart from that, nothing too much. Helm and Gorse was nerfed through the floor, but, you know... Oh my god, his corpse card has gone from 250 to 800 gold. That's absurd. But yeah, looks like they're both ready. So let's see if the big man is good to go. Looks like he is.
He's still muted.
Hello!
Okay. Hey, you're back.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Good. So looks like we're ready to go. Let's kick this off. So I was chatting to my guys. And oh no, this matchup is cursed according to Lupi. Yes, it definitely used to be Vampire Count favoured. What do you think about it now?
It is still Vampire Count favored, but there's an issue about it now. You have to you have to take care of the War Shrine. That means not feeding zombies to it. If you can engage with your hard-hitting units and be able to at least kill the support of the infantry, you know, there will be only single entities left, and you will be able to manage to win against this. But by the look of it, we will not have such game. There is no War Shrines against with Moffat boards. So yeah, let's start. What do you want to cover?
Well, let's go over the Chaos first. So they've gone for a mass kite. So they've gone with some of the Zinchian ones as well. So why would you go Zinch in this matchup? What does the Zinch skirmish bring?
Oh, okay. So you like with the Zinch horsemen, you have some magical and fire damage, and that's pretty much saying that you don't care about the X-Wrath, and you also take care of like the regeneration of your opponents.
Yeah.
And it also does a lot more damage. So overall, just very difficult to play against those guys. They are one of the best skirmish cav in the game.
So they go in chariots as well. So it looks like they're going to bring in some of the heavily armored Chaos chariots, probably to deal with, you know, some of the Grave Guard, etc. But it looks like they're going to get probably pounded a little bit by Vargolf. So Blood Knights as well. This is spelling a bit of a problem here for elite Chaos chariots.
Yeah, and I mean, for the army of the Vampire Count is bringing Henrik Himmler.
Yes.
Alongside the Maud Engine. I'm not sure about this kind of play. We are going to see a little bit of cheese. I would like the Vampire Count not to be in the open with his cavalry, because Belacor can basically support a lot of damage because of his shield.
Yeah, he's also got the Shadow Shroud as well, so he's going to be negating a lot of that damage.
Oh my, and you have the Pit of Shade coming in. Oh
yeah, I think this could be the end for the Blood Knights. I think that was a bit of a throw there, actually. But the Vargolf is now catching up on Belacor.
Yeah, but you also see there's an issue about like the dogs getting sacked for nothing on the Hellstriders. And Vargolf can do things, but basically, like in the open against those skirmish cav, there's not much you can do. Arduous warrior is not very, I think, is not super experienced about how to react to such aggression, because at this point you don't expect to be able to even like be able to counter the kites. You just try to avoid most of the shots coming from the skirmishers, and you shield with your infantry. You try to get some ground with your infantry, making it more difficult for your opponents to be able to shoot at you easily.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think that's where I would do this. You push out your zombies, you try and get those skeletons, spearmen or whatever, etc., pushing out as much of the Marauder Horsemasters as you can, because otherwise they're going to get into like your really meaty stuff, you know, your Crypt Horrors, and then they'll start firing down your Mortis Engine, etc., which is not really what you want.
I will be honest also, I'm not sure how he would have been able to deal against a blob, an army like against the War Shrine, I mean. Because against the War Shrine you need some very, very fast-hitting units, you know. And pretty much the Grave Guards are mandatory, but in this case he would have been playing with some Grave Guards, some Spearmen, sorry. And it would have taken time, and he would have been in trouble against the War Shrine. So his army is not designed against Blob, but also not really designed against like skirmish fights, and it's just, yeah.
Oh, I've seen that Vargolfs have been changed. It looks like they have the Hunger. I swear they used to have Regeneration.
Yeah, so, but they still have their weakness to fire.
Do they?
So, yes. They have 10% weakness to fire. I just checked it.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So they have it with the Warp Flame, yeah.
yeah, at this point, Arduous is probably realizing that
Yeah,
he's just surrendering the game pretty much, because you cannot be completely AFK with your infantry. You have to extend your lines in order to be able to have some shield against this kind of
I think
fights.
Be'lakor is too powerful for this kind of gameplay as well. As you can see, he's picking off the Crypt Horrors, he's picking off now the Vargolfs, and he's just way too strong. Way too strong.
Just saying, I'm pretty sure if you're playing with Be'lakor, you will be able to fight two Vargolf alongside a Kimmler against you.
Yeah.
Take wisely your charges, and if you are cycling out well your bonuses, it is definitely possible. So even on the duelist front, he wouldn't have been in trouble with this kind of army. It's just pretty much, it was just too difficult for him.
Yeah, and there's another Pit of Shades going down. Like, Pit of Shades has been nerfed, but still it is very, very powerful.
Still very threatening.
So yeah, that's going to be tilting to army losses, and skirmish cavalry, I think, and I think the scariest thing for many new players coming in towards, or at least playing Warriors of Chaos, is the fact that they have the Tzeentchian cavalry now. It just makes them infinitely more powerful.
It's also why you have so many impossible matchups when you are facing against when you're facing Tzeentch. So many yes, so many matchups are absolutely destroyed because of this Tzeentch cavalry. This for 600, they can basically skirmish fights better. They can have skirmish fights that are going to be better than any other skirmish cavalry. They can win against most of them at least, and they only cost 600, but they also let you have some barrier. So
I mean,
they are very like threatening.
That was an excellent game on how to play Chaos into the Vampire counts. I mean, that was 1,800 value there from the counts, going up against 11,700 total damage dealt by Warriors of Chaos. I mean,
Yeah.
it's about as close to a landslide as I've probably ever seen in a game. I mean, that was tremendous.
Yeah, yeah. That being said, it is sometimes very difficult to play whenever you're not very used to the way your opponent is playing. In this case, like playing against a kite, you have to know what to do, and it's not an easy task. There's no you have to train a lot in order to understand what's going on. So not much to be said. It was well played from Moffat and
yeah.
Warrior. If you hear us, just try to grab someone that can show you how to play against it. I guess you'll see. I
I think,
personally believe
yeah.
that if you don't understand how to play against a certain strategy, you embrace it and you play this strategy since you saw it against you, and if you try to replicate it, and if someone is winning against you, then you learn from your opponent how to play against this. So you learn how to play. Yeah,
I think that's true.
against
I think there was a couple of mistakes in and around just general knowledge, like for example, losing your Diepat Wolves to the very powerful cavalry of the Hellstriders. That was a bit of a mistake. Also, allowing your your Blood Knights to get caught out in the open, charged down by Be'lakor, who, you know, with his splash attacks will kill 2 or 3 models in one go, and then also getting them caught on top of, you know, a spell that takes some time to brew, you know, with your Pit of Shades.
yeah.
So a couple of mistakes in there, plus a little bit of lack of knowledge in the matchup. And actually, it's quite interesting that the Marauder Horsemasters did very well. 1.6k, 1.3k. Marauder Horsemen did pretty decent. I'm still wondering what the Chaos Chariots are about. I'm wondering if they were there just to deal with just regular Graveguard. They seem a bit of a disconnect.
Yeah, they probably don't really. They are not really important in his build, but maybe it's just to counter the possibility of having to play against a mix of arms and such. Because what you will see that is quite common whenever you're threatening with skirmishers against the vampire count, their only way to play against skirmishers that have like 90 speed is either to go with some chill geists, or you go for some Hans. I mean, chill geist, X-Ref, whatever you want to call it, you know. But so having the chariots, at least you have some way to play against. You have even more ways to counter the dogs, you know. So you don't have to be bothered with it. And one thing I want to point out in this game that we have not, I did not really. At the moment I wasn't really looking at it especially, but Moffat was cycling well his bonuses, because every time Belacor was engaging, he was having his shield of invulnerability, you know. The 40% all type damage resistance, and that's just the way to go, generally speaking.
Yeah, no, and I think also he never poked from one direction. So when he was, I don't know if you noticed it, but when he was charging you with Bellicor and popping that ability, he was also getting his skirmish cavalry on two different flanks, plus then also moving like 1,400 gold on one of his exalted heroes as well. Like he was charging him from multiple angles, and as a player that, you know, certainly I've played against you, and when we played Empire against the Dwarfs, it's very Dwarf favoured, but at the same time, when you got a player that's just that slight skill above you, like you can get poked from 3-4 different angles, and it can pull you into some mistakes.
If it can I must say, Logic, that at the time, whenever we were playing it, I don't think Empire against Dwarf was that super bad for Empire. It was probably
depends on the player.
It was not an easy matchup, but it's definitively workable. It's not. It's definitively not one of the worst matchups in the game. So losing to it is like debatable. You have to, as a dwarf player, you generally you tend, like, I know a lot of people tend to forget to play the easiest matchup whenever you're trying to master a faction, because you think it will never happen in a tournament, and it's just good sometimes to see it for yourself, just to be sure that you understand what's going on. In this case, like, it's just I caught you off guard, so.
Sorry, they're just telling me to turn you up a little bit. I don't think you're that quiet.
I'm quiet. Oh my.
There you go. That might be better. I'll put you up to 125%. There we go. So I just got a couple of people saying hello. Hey Mossy, how we doing? We have Haladin's in the chat. Hey Dog, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Turn the audio up. Gorst naked on a corpse cart still costs less than an actual mortis. Yeah, that's probably true. There's a question about Tzeentch Skirmish Cav costing 100 less than Nurgle. Feels wild to me given they have Barrier and Fire Tech. Yeah, I think I agree with that as well. I mean, they're 100 gold less than the Nurgle Cav. They're also 100 gold less than the Corn Cav as well, that have lots of armor piercing. Hey, Maiden! How you doing, buddy? It's been so long, man. Haven't seen you since Entladder. Hope you're doing well, buddy. But yeah, what's your thoughts on that? I think the Tzeentch Cavalry is obviously they're built off Marauder Horsemen, but I think they're rather cheap for what they do.
I'm back. What's going on?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, so we were just talking about Tzeentch Horsemen being only 600 gold, whilst like Nurgle and Khorne, their horsemen are like 700 gold, and I was like, I don't think that's fair. I think like Tzeentch Horsemen are really powerful for 600 gold.
Yes, I think overall there's already an issue of balancing for those skirmishers, because I do believe that javelins are just so much better than throwing axes.
Yes.
So you have units that like throwing axes cost more, but they are not as good, you know. So it doesn't make any sense. They are a little bit better in melee, but doesn't mean much, I would say. I personally believe they should nerf all the javelin skirmishers by at least 100. So at least you have more of a tough choice between like throwing axes compared to javelins, you know.
I also think that what they've done with CA is that they've gone right. So, hunter javelins are 500 gold. So these are the Zinch ones. So we'll just add 100 gold on. Throwing axes are 600. So we'll just add 100 on. And it's like it's just like not the way to balance it, right?
Yeah, I guess I can. It's forgivable because if you consider that the meta before was balanced, then why would you like try to nerf it right now? You know, but
I guess that's true. But also, you're bringing extra elements in. So, for example, if you bring throwing axes for Nurgle with poison against throwing axes with fire damage, plus also the Corn mark and the Nurgle mark are very different. Like melee defense trades better than melee attack. So is that really a fair trade? I don't particularly think so. I think poison is going to be better than fire damage, and I think having high melee defense is better than high melee attack. So
yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I mean, I guess like at this point, I think that overall skirmishes will always be played regardless. So
yeah, it's a skirmish game. It's a skirmish game.
That's the issue with CA probably. Whenever they are like trying to compare the statistics of the units, if players are bringing them or not, they don't really think about. They see the numbers, so they assume that because Khorne skirmishes are played quite a lot, it's probably okay I mean, they are still okay because people are bringing them, but it's more so because they don't have a lot of ways to it's their only skirmishes, you know.
Yeah, I think also there's going to need to be more pressure on CA to fix skirmish cavalry because it is one of the main elements of multiplayer. But anyway, I'll tell you what, we'll come back to this. There's something that I really need to pay attention to. And the one thing is triple gold chevron skin wolves. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, no, I mean, what can I say? It's okayish because skin wolves have been a terror in the night nowadays. I'm saying that because I'm saying that because of the regeneration. Basically, those guys will stand quite a lot in the fight before being out, you know. And against Slanesh with their armor and their regeneration, I'm expecting it to be a little bit tricky for Arduous Warrior to pass them. But I don't like the chevrons. I think it's always a bad idea.
So it looks like here at the rate, the Marauder Horsemen and maybe Horse Masters, yeah, they're going to be beating down on the Horsemen. And I mean, it just seems to be this Horsemen everywhere. But Slanesh Horsemen, physical resistance, devastating flanker, magical missiles. Apart from that, nothing really too much that excites me, I don't think.
Yeah, but that's just for 100 more, so that's already pretty exciting. If I may say.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But they don't have Horse Masters. I do love Horse Masters. I think they're very, very good units.
I will be honest, not to shame anyone or whatsoever, because Moffat is a very, very good player. But I think Arduous Warrior is quite outmatched right now in the skirmish fights.
You can see it here with the cavalry, especially on the left side. You can see like his cavalry is a little bit disconjointed. It's not pushing together.
Yeah, it's always a little bit messy whenever you have a full-on skirmish game. In this case, he's already losing, and I'm not sure about the infantry not moving and not shielding. As I said, your infantry, strangely enough, is one of your best resources whenever you're playing a skirmish game. In this case, Moffat is just picking one unit at a time, and you see how effective his engagements are.
So he's going to be diving in here with Azrael as well, going up against the Skin Wolves. I'd actually turn and burn with the Skin Wolves. I can't see why they They'd probably do quite well here. But no, looks like they're going to fight. Looks like they're actually going to catch the cavalry here from Russ. So they'll shred those pretty quickly.
I mean, that was good attempt from Ardras. You can't, if you can't, like, if you consider that you're losing the skirmish fight, you have to go for something.
Yeah.
You have to try to get the engagement, but issue is, it was a little bit disconjointed.
I mean, he's coming back into the game here. I mean, we may say that, but, you know, I'm a little bit worried about his Seekers getting caught there by the Skin Wolves. But, you know, balance is not terrible. He's about 10% behind right now. It's not impossible to get back into this.
Yep. Moffat losing a little bit of his micro as well, but there's a lot going on right now, so it's expected. You have a Spirit Leech going on the Seekers. Whenever the Cav is out, then the Skin Wolves will be able to cycle charge your infantry. Yep. And they will also be able to regenerate to full HP. Like, they will have as much time as needed.
Yeah, he's got to be careful on those models as well. So it looks like... So I really like this. We've got Acquiescence. I don't know why he didn't use this earlier, but slowing down certainly the skirmish game also could have, you know, set off, you know, maybe some disconjointed movement from Norska.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would have been nice if he could have tried to use it earlier. Right now, I'm a little bit fearful for him because at this point, there's only skirmishers left for, like, Moffat has everything pretty much, and he lost most of his cavalry. So
yeah, it looks like he's also regained himself as well. It was sort of like a tit for tat there a second ago, but it looks like Moffet's going to be getting himself back into a nice shape. I hear a Sea Fang, but we are going to get some Marauders of Slanesh coming back. But there's not much here. It's mostly infantry left. More cavalry going off on the left.
A good pick for Ardras. He got the Shaman of Death.
Yeah, I'm a bit concerned about the attacking rule here. They're kind of pushing a bit close to the edge.
I mean, if your opponent is like, okay, we will see if Anodins is having an issue with that, I guess. And for the rest, I mean, the infantry now is engaging, so that's something to be said.
That's a really good win. I think one of the Forsaken here could do a bit of a number on the Skin Wolves.
Yeah, but all the Skin Wolves have a lot of models left. So what you see right now is not really what you should take into account, because they still have a lot of HP to regenerate, and they still have a lot of models. So we expect some troubles on this part.
Yeah, Moffet's now starting to pull away again, so he's above 10% now. It looks like he's going to be training a little bit more efficiently here.
I'm actually interested. I don't really know why Moffat is going for a Wolfric pick in this matchup. I think it can be very debatable, in my opinion.
What, Frog?
Because, yeah, compared to Frog now is probably much better compared to Wolfric, since he has regeneration, so he brings a lot of HP to the table.
Maybe mobility?
I guess it could make sense. It's not like out of the question.
Also,
because
I do think Sword of Torgal does allow him to punch quite a bit above his weight. Like, he can challenge Nakari to a certain extent.
Yeah. I think it's debatable, as I said.
Yeah, I would agree.
It doesn't have to be. Yeah.
I think regen is really important, especially for the Chaos Lords, because there's no area or way to heal otherwise.
Aze all trying to find his home here, but couldn't have a big impact on the battlefield. That's pretty normal, I would say.
So you can see here. I mean, let's talk about it for the people at home that, you know, maybe haven't been in this scenario. I played in this scenario against you. I think here the infantry is just going to have to tank the best they can, and then kind of use Azael to try and fight off as much as possible here. Like, push back some of the skirmish cavalry, try and tax his micro where he can, get good damage up against the chariots. What do you do here as an experienced player?
Okay, so at this point in the game, it's very locked for Norska. The win is, if you're not making much mistakes, your win is almost assured. Because everything can cycle charge, and a lot of your best things have a regeneration. I also think Azazel needs to get on Wolfric if he wants to have any chance, because any free damage at a certain point might help Ardras like win the game. But Moffat saw it and went away with Wolfric. And you see there's an issue with Azazel. Whenever he's charging, he tends to have an animation that pound the ground. But if your unit is fleeing from you, then your charging animation is not hitting anything. So
I've actually found it's best with him against characters to stay on foot, not to fly.
Yeah,
I mean, then he doesn't do that big like pound into the floor.
Azazel is probably not a duelist overall. It's just like imagine if we have to imagine him as some sort of Manticore plus a spellcaster. In a certain way, it's literally like if you were playing Sorceress on Manticore. That's pretty much the best way we could describe him. But it's a Manticore that has some fighting capabilities and is also able to terror much more things. So yeah.
So I think he needs to stay by his Mirror Guard because he is going to get the Supreme Vanity, that melee defense buff, and I think I think having a nice hardcore unit around him to dissipate a lot of the charging damage is going to be pretty decent.
Yeah.
I think now though he has to take out Wolfric, like he has to go after Wolfric, and I think that's just got to be the only play.
If he could get Wolfric, it will still be a very close game, let's say it that way. Let's hope. Okay, he saw the opportunity, nice, but Azazel is having issues. Okay,
Landed.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I guess like Skin Wolves don't have a very good leadership, so you could make an argument that whenever you get Wolfric out, you might be able to get everything out of the battlefield. But Azazel against Wolfric, if you're getting like debuffed and such, might not be that easy of a task. It's probably still favored for...
There's still a few getting terror routed here, but I don't think it's going to be enough though, is it?
Yeah. Although it's actually quite a close game. And I would say, considering that the first engagements were so poor from the Slaanesh side of thing, I think Ardras had a good build. I think he could have made it. But as I said, it's you're playing Moffat, and it's sometimes difficult to keep track of everything. So
I mean, that's going to be army losses, but yeah, no, I think you're right. I think that's really well played. I think considering his game style, also kind of mixing in a little bit there with perhaps being maybe slightly behind the curve against Moffat, maybe actually going for a full cavalry build might have not been the worst idea. I don't know what your thoughts are there.
Yeah. Probably you either consider that you don't want to fight the cavalry and you try to sustain it for if it's even possible, or you go for full mobility and you don't care. I mean, 4 seconds were nice, but they were not spread. Whenever you saw the formation at the beginning of the battle, they were not spread out. So you have to counter the skirmish with your infantry as if it was a shield. Some sort of like a line where it's very difficult to penetrate. And in this case, because the line was so small, so short, he could not provide this shield that was needed for the skirmish fights to go on. I think the build of Moffat is a little bit troll, I must say. Going for chevrons is always a bad idea, almost like
almost
99%.
Yeah. I think here as well. I'm a bit surprised that I can never say this. Azazel is. I don't think it's a great pick. I don't think that Slaanesh magic is all. I mean, what other magic have they got? They've got Shadows magic. I think would almost be infinitely better here against Norska. I don't know your opinions.
I completely agree with you. Actually, Shadow Magic with the passive army-wide passive ability, it's just so much better because you get a boost of speed, and you'll be able to catch even more the skirmishers. Basically, with a curve of 100 speed alongside some boost of the speed, you're you're assured that your
Yeah.
skirmishers, your skirmishers and your Hellstriders will be able to engage a fight. I think it would have been much more clever in a way.
But
Also,
you have other
because you have
abilities as well. You have the slows, so if you take Melkor's Mystify Miasma, you could slow by 25% whilst doing really good consistent damage. Pit of Shades, very powerful. Pendulum in this example isn't needed, but it's another good spell you can bring. I just think the Slanesh magic is really missing in this matchup.
Can you kick Moffat out so we can
Yeah, no
so we can
problem.
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
let's set the map. So we have Southern.
Zombie Quest. Okay. Okay, one of my a
So
good friend of mine.
a little
Actually.
story time about Zombie Quest. The Zombie Quest first ever tournament was actually one of my Battlemania tournaments.
Oh,
So
nice.
he came in. I think it was Hanadin. Hanadin's right. Listen, I've got a guy. He's gonna come play. He's my student. It's his first ever tournament. Look after him. And this guy went all the way. He either made it to the semi-finals or the finals. I can't remember. And I was like, Hanadin, this guy's new, yeah? I was like, no, it can't be. This is gonna be Alfredinho in disguise. Like, this guy was crushing people.
Oh, it is. We have for the story. We have basically a French Discord that is basically fostering talents, and it is called La Balade de la Guerre, which is like it's just an MP Discord that provides some like good training ground for new people who wants to learn. And in this case, probably half of the half of the season player in this French Discord have been recruited by ODM at this point.
Oh, really?
Because we got very lucky that we were able to foster talents on this Discord, and I found a lot of people being able to train me. So this guy Zombie Quest, he's quite a talented player. He loves to play with a lot of cavalry. That being said, for anyone with a dwarf hater, he is also playing a lot of dwarves. And that's quite a shame considering his path of like his training, like what Anodin's showed him. Anodin's is his mentor. So yeah, I'm quite of a dwarf hater. Just saying.
Well, you are.
I'm joking.
You love the boys.
Logic. I love it because what I'm trying to do in the ODM Discord every time is just I start like saying some dumb things, okay, and I'm trying to make some civil wars happening, you know. And it happens that we had only two dwarf players, but they were some of the most obnoxious in our clan. Some of the most degenerate people. I'm looking at you, Panta, if you hear us. But basically, Pantalonade, yeah. And anyway, dwarves are getting their some love in our Discord. I'm switching from sides from time to time just to reanimate the debate. You know.
So let's have a look here. So some of the guys are saying talents. Then why did you pick up Pantelonard? The war walk maybe. Alfred is full of self-hate. Apparently, you're full of self-hate. Apparently,
of self-hate.
Yeah.
Oh my! I mean, I don't know. I love. I guess I've got whenever it's like I've got a private an internal ODM attitude that's very different from what I'm showing out in the outside
in the stream, right?
yeah
Okay.
because otherwise otherwise, I will be. Most of you all will call me a degenerate, and I don't want you to
All right,
look at
let's run a
ODM.
poll on this. Let's run a poll on this. Is Alfredinho?
I saw your poll by the way earlier in the stream.
Oh, you like it?
Saying what ODM stands for, and I had someone coming in my stream saying to me, ODM stands for Order of the Dawi Main.
Yes. Order of the
But
Dawi.
we also had some great names such as Orders of the Monkey, and I'm all for
Love
it,
it.
I suppose. Yeah.
Right, so we've got a couple of answers here.
Yeah, but ODM overall stands for Ordre de Malte, which was a chivalry order back in the Crusade times, and they are still up today, but it's more of an NGO. So yeah.
So they're saying apparently you are the worst when you play Vermintide.
Oh my!
This is what I hear.
Who is saying that? Who is telling such lies?
Paladins, apparently.
I want some names. Okay. Anodins, you'll suffer, but I guess you'll suffer despite even if you were not saying anything. So don't worry.
So
I'm coming after you.
So listen, for me, I mean, I've only got one character at level 40. Could you take a small guess of who you think it is on Vermintide? Take a small guess.
Okay. Oh, I mean, no, it's not even a guess. I already know. I mean, there's no. For sure, it should be the Slayer.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. The Slayer in Vermintide is such a badass character.
He's by far the most fun. By far the most fun.
I realized I recently read about the story about Gotrek and Felix in the books.
That's Tyrion's favorite.
My favorite character, yeah, and it's well written. But my favorite character is for sure Snorri.
Oh, Snorri Whitebeard. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Of course.
Okay, so we have for Zombie Quest we have Cathay facing off AC Maiden going for Dark Elves.
I've played this matchup, and Malice Darkblade is a beast, man.
Yeah, Malice Darkblade is a beast. But Cathay is absolutely busted. So we'll have to see. It's very debatable. So far, I would personally put my bets. I would bet the house of Xypher on Zombie Quest winning it.
So if they don't win, I get Xypher's ass. Is that what you're telling me? Right here, right now.
Yes. Don't worry. Like Xypher has been sleeping 3 months in a row in the cold nights, in the cold dark. I mean. So by the time he is getting used to it, you know. Recently, someone invited him to sleep overnight, so he's safe maybe. But
right, let's put this in here. Text. If Cathay loses, I get Xypher's ass. Right.
Oh wait, us, not us. I wasn't sure if I was. No, because we are not trafficking humans. Although I must say, I'm sure Xypher wouldn't mind at this point. He has been suffering so much. He has been suffering so much in our many training sessions that he's probably used to just endure it, you know.
Well, having a sore ass, yeah, I imagine. All right, we'll put that up on screen for now. All right, so yeah, so is there anything that Dark Elves can do in this matchup to make it at all achievable to win?
I mean, I will be honest, I'm not super experienced in the matchup, but what I can say, I was saying it earlier in the stream, but whenever, basically Cathay is super good right now because the front line will hold as much time as like it's basically you pay 500 to get Marauder champions almost.
Yeah, they are
It's
very
a
good.
front line.
They are
And
very good.
you don't expect to be able to push through the front line easily. You can slip through the cracks, or you have to get there like in another way, I suppose. I probably think you can still have some counters to Cathay by basically, for example, Vampire Count could play with a lot of Vargheists to pass through the first front line and directly on the back line and wreak havoc on the in the lines, you know.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, it's pretty difficult. And for Dark Elves, I don't think they have what it takes to actually pass through it, you know. That being said, we might see some unusual picks, and I'm definitively looking forward to see what Maiden will play.
You don't want to win front lines versus Cathay. No, I don't actually think it's possible to be at all efficient against Grand Cathay.
Yeah,
I've seen Norscan Berserkers lose to Grand Cathay Jade Warriors. Like, it's absurd. Like,
and you have to remember Berserkers got improved because of the like change to ultra size mode.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
quite impressive.
And they're what, 750 gold, or are they more than
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, they are 750.
It's 50% extra money, and I think you still lose 2/3 or something. Like, it's dumb. Also, Norska don't have too much leadership, but yeah.
So Cathay is playable, but basically it means that whenever you're playing a rush faction, you have to go you have to sleep through every cracks in the formation. It's very macro taxing, and it's also like not even that efficient. Generally speaking, at the end of the battle, you get a bunch of Jade Warriors that are still almost untouched. And even if you're doing great, like even if you have made a huge breakthrough, even if you killed all the ranged assets, you end up still having issue because how can you play against this? Especially if it's paired with such thing as like a Mayoing on dragon form and such, you know. So there's no easy answers.
Could you just skirmish kite? Could you just kite them?
I guess it's possible, but I mean that's how you will do it for Cinch, for example, and this kind of thing. But you have to remember that Cathay is actually okayish in like the ranged fights. It's decent, not great, but probably decent. So.
So I have to warn you, the votes are in, and it's pretty scary. So we had, is Alfredinho a degenerate? And we had 4 answers. We had super degenerate. We had yes, sometimes, or nah. And 73% of the vote did say that you are super degenerate. So I mean, what did you want to say to the community?
What can I say? It's not because I want to become a VTuber being a plushy LPit whenever I'm doing a stream that I should be a degenerate, guys. You're intolerant.
I mean, it is mostly ODM guys, so I guess they do know you the best.
Yeah. I mean, what can I say? You have to do add weird path of life, you know. Whenever I start playing the game, I was actually a decent human being.
Oh yeah.
But then I encounter a lot of weird people, and now here I am talking about being a VTuber with an avatar of a plushy LPit and just casually
and betting
setting up. Yeah. Betting on Zypher's ass.
Yep.
Ass, I mean.
No.
House and As, les deux, the two.
Yeah, there's a
The
big
two at the
H
time.
in there. There's a big a big
Yeah.
house.
House and As. Aye, aye, aye. My French accent sometimes is just terrible.
Listen, it's great. It's great. I
I
love it.
try my best, but what can I say?
So, I
Okay.
mean, we said skirmish, and well, it seems
Oh,
to be
love
what we
it.
got.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, we are talking about a good match. Like, it's gonna be great.
Dark Rider Repeater crossbows and shades as far as the eyes can see. Dual weapons, regular shades, Dark Rider Repeater crossbows, Dark Riders, bleak swords, a master, and a supreme of shadows. I think that's a really good mixture because you are also going to get the bonus with the speed there thanks to the lore passive.
I really like this army from Maiden because he also answers the problem that if you're going in the air with a Supreme Sorceress, you'll be hunted down by the Magistrate or anything like any hero in the air, you know. Having a Master just ensure you that you're not completely destroyed if you get a fight in the air. On the other side, you have a mix of Jade Warriors, as I said, and say, oh wow, okay, Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen.
Three
So
of them.
he was expecting some, three of them. Four of them actually.
Four of them. Damn.
Yeah, done. It's if he was expecting probably a front line that is quite armored. I think it's an okay pick. Maybe it's a little bit too much for for Cathay. And two Jade Lancers in the sides, alongside, the Dune Dragons, the Celestial Dragon Guard Aura. I think it's okay. I think I'm not a huge fan of the build for Dark Elf. For Cathay. And I'm a huge fan of the build for Dark Elf, I think.
Same. I actually, looking at this matchup here, right, also, I mean, if you really think about it, when I saw the Dragon-Blooded Lord of Yin in, like, Warhammer 3, like, he wasn't that powerful, but when you brought it to, like, Immortal Empires, this thing is actually disgustingly strong. But it looks like there's going to be a bit of a goon squad in the sky.
Yeah, and on the other side, you have some Jade Lancers engaging on Shades, but it's not very easy for them. I would like... Dark Elves the Dark Elf player is putting all his micro on his right side of thing, but I would like him to start taking care of the left because it's probably the most important fight he will get.
So the Master has the same bonus as large as Slayers. So it's got 30 bonus as large, shank tons of armor piercing, and Guardian. So in that sky, going up against the Longmire, it will single-handedly bat that thing down. So
yeah,
it's not looking good there, but the shades are falling. One has dropped here on the left-hand side.
Yeah, and the issue is Maiden managed a little bit poorly
There's a mixture here, isn't there, between the
cavalry.
two?
Yeah, he didn't really kited it well. So now, like, some cavalries are engaging on the shades, and it doesn't have many ways to protect them. So
yeah, and it's also got shades on top of shades. So like, with one unit of cavalry, he's engaging 2 units of the shades. So he's getting really good value for money here on the left-hand side.
Completely agree. I think the build was a little bit ambitious in terms of having only pew things. You know, it's probably the best way. I think the build works great. I really do, but not having something to slow down things and overall engaging on every side at the same time is probably not good for the Dark Elf player. It could have been more. Could have waited a little bit more, probably.
I think patience certainly was needed in this matchup, and I think that lack of patience has paid on the left-hand side. But to quote the all-famous Alfredino, the pew build is it's not as great as I thought it was going to be. Actually, the Dragon crossbows have actually done superiorly well compared to what I thought they would do.
Yeah, I agree. Technically speaking, they are shielded. They are going to. It's gonna be difficult to get them, but It's a mix of things, I guess. I also do you like the pew pew expression?
Of course, yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
I think it's the best way to describe
The pew pew build, of
orange
course.
build. Yeah.
But it looks like, yeah, I mean, we've got, I don't know, I can't see it coming back here. We're going to be 2,500 gold down here for AC Maiden. And then we've also got stuff for routing. So shades on the left are going. We got some shades kiting, but we do have some skirmish pew pew. So perhaps there is a way back into this. We have 2 units of the Dark Riders. So maybe there's a way back in. It looks like the Master is going to be breaking down the Lord choice as well, although he's really suffering in the sky.
Yeah, the Master is a very nice pick, I must say. You see that I can already tell you, Maiden has been working out on this build. He knows what's going on, but he was too ambitious, and maybe he tried it on ladder, and since like you can, I guess, win with a little bit of everything on the ladder.
Yeah.
You're not expecting like things, and you might have got caught off guard.
But I do say though, with ladder really throws some curveballs your way. Like if you're really not sure about a build, send it on ladder and see what happens. Because I swear to God, I've come up against some builds that is something I've never thought about before.
I completely agree. Let's have a rewind the time, I guess. Back in my early days of playing the game, and I'm sure, I guess you could also relate for sure, Logic. But basically, I didn't have a clan. I didn't have many, like I didn't know anyone. I'll be honest. So I could only train on ladder, and I was able to like for 3 years or so I trained, and that's how I was able to actually start winning tournaments. But it took me 3 years. So basically, ladder makes you a good player, and you can become a very good player only playing ladder. But the thing is, or at least a decent player. But the thing is, you have to. It's not really efficient in terms of time, you know.
No, of course, and also you can't, especially on ladder, it's not like a pick and ban system. You get a blind pick, you get random factions, random maps. Not even always that competitive. But yeah, you are right. I think you can still become a very good player by playing on the ladder, 100%.
Also, CA improved the ladder system in a way by not showing the pick of your opponent, so you can't really like
100%.
full counter. That's a nice thing, I must say, because finding the right matchups you want to train is sometimes impossible. It was already back in the days very difficult, and now you have like 23 factions, and if you are showing if it was like the good old days, if you were showing your faction, your opponent will start counter picking him, to counter picking you most of the time. So now that it's at least hidden, you can practice a little bit more the things like matchups that are maybe a little bit more unusual, you know. So nice thing.
So nice comment here. So thank you very much to, I'm going to butcher this name, Oroji. He says, love the analysis and the humor, great stream. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. If you don't have a link here, let me grab a link to the stream for ODM. So we are doing it together. Let me find you guys.
Yeah.
There we are.
I must say, guys, for those who are not familiar, because most likely you already know about Logic. He has been he has been here quite a long time, for quite a long time by now. But for us, it's kind of a new thing. I've been streaming the past 2 months, and I'm streaming under the name of under the clan ODM. So far, it's only me, but we might I might get replaced by someone else in the clan. Looking forward, and we would love to to get to a level where we could have early access on the game. Not only because we could show some like new things to you, but also because it will help the clan, and overall it's just a nice thing. So
So do me a favor,
thanks for your
guys.
support.
Do me a favor, pop over and go give all the guys just a little follow for me. That really would go quite a long way for me, guys. So just do pop over, give a little follow here to the ODM guys. And, you know, they've done a lot of stuff for me in regards to, like, tournaments and stuff in the past. They've always asked me to host. They always send me in videos, joining on my tournaments. And I'd really like to do some more work with all of them, even if it's not just Alpha. I mean, obviously, you know, there's great banter here between me and Alfredino, but if anybody else wants to also pop in and do some streams, we'll be doing lots of things. So go follow, because there'll be lots of stuff to do. And you do stuff with other people like Human Boy and stuff as well, don't you? So
Yes, and we are going to diverse our like what we are going to show. Maybe we'll do a campaign, multiplayer, an head-to-head campaign. Maybe we'll do things like that. You'll see. It's gonna be exciting.
Right, so let's jump into the analysis. So the analysis doesn't really show too much apart from that Celestial Dragon crossbows. I mean, they have the range, they have the shields, they actually have the DPS as well. The damage...
Santos Scrutinizer saying shades are always great in theory, but not in practice. I would say that
I kind of agree with that. I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, I think shades are a little bit overpriced. The issue also about shades and over-ranged units is that because they didn't want to buff the damage done by the ranged units in Warhammer 3, because we will change from large to ultra size units, you know. Because of that, they decided that they will put a longer reload time on most of the on every ranged units, and for shades it was already pretty long. So because of that, you end up having shades not being able to quickly shoot and react to things, and I guess this kite is a little bit gutted because of that. That being said, I'm pretty sure. I must say, I think Maiden had the right build. Just saying, but maybe it did not play it the right way, I must say.
Do you reckon going wider could have been better? Maybe going with some dark shards with shields could have been maybe a more optimal way?
So my way to play against dwarves, and let's assume that the dwarf is a little bit like Cathay, except it's a little bit easier because you are expecting things, okay? My way of playing against dwarves is going for 7 shades, but also you have 5 dark shards with shields. And the shades are on the side, the dark shards in the middle. As you can see, the issue is he had only 2 points of pressure. I mean, the Dark Elf Maiden only had 2 points of pressures on the side, so he was able to basically split in half. Zombie Quest was able to split in half his army and dedicate resources on the 2 sides without having to focus on in the center, which is okay, I suppose. Like, probably it wasn't a huge deal. I would say overall that it was pretty difficult for Maiden, much more about the fact that the cavalry wasn't on sword, but still, you know. Maybe...
Shades need perfect execution, Loopy says.
Yeah.
I think the problem with Shades, right, is they pay for so much melee stats because they are a hybrid unit. They pay for so much so that 99% of the time, in regards to multiplayer and Dark Elves, they never use that stat line.
Yeah, and even so, I must say it looks very underwhelming for what they should be, you know? If you consider that Shades are literally like K-Knight assassins, but, you know, less strong, you know?
Yes.
Not a hero, I suppose.
Actually, I wouldn't hate them with Poison. I think actually Poison could do quite a bit for them.
Yeah, I would say Poison would be nice. I think having, giving them the net effect like the gutter runners have,
okay.
you know.
Like a regiment
Because
renowned with like that had like the Web of Shadows.
not this kind of ability. I'm talking about, you know, the gutter runners. They have a slowdown effect. It will make them a little bit interesting, maybe. You have a unit that is so interesting in its way of play. Like you could make it so interesting to play, and yet they just gave it dark shard treatment. You know, in a way.
Yeah.
They are too they are too they are so comparable to dark shards. I think
we've got the worst matchup coming forward, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry to tell you, it's going to be the Elgi coming up against the farmers of Brettonia. So, what's your thoughts on that? It's going to be cavalry and all sorts of large things. I don't see many small dwarven characters in this, so not too interested.
What can I say? So Zombie Quest, by the look of it, wants to redeem his reputation. I said he was a dwarf main, so he had to go for full cavalry.
He did send me a message about that. He said, I have to say, Alfredinho, do some defamation. I never go on dwarf. Being a dwarf hater, I have to react. So it seems that you've sparked some anger in him.
Yeah, that's what I like to see. So I like to spark the anger. I guess I'm a shite steer a little bit, but
well, we do have some good news. We do have some good news for Zypher. I don't know if he's here or not, but Zypher, you do get to keep your house and your ass. I don't know which one Alfredinho was offering me, but you get to keep whatever it is that he was offering. So good stuff for you. He's going to keep all of his stuff now.
Zypher, good. You have some good luck today.
So Zypher was telling me that he was saying that he's the best dwarven player in the clan. Is this true?
Zypher is definitively one of our strongest dwarf main in the clan. Probably the strongest.
Probably the strongest. Yeah, I thought so.
Although I must say, if I'm starting to say this, Pantalonad will rush at me angrily.
He'll put you in the book.
Yeah. So.
Oh wow. Okay. This is going to be what the? Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Few things. Before we I'll cover the Brettonian side of it.
I thought you might. I've not got a lot to cover for the high elves.
No. I'll cover the high elves. Sorry, because it's actually so. Imric, because of the buff on the dragons, it is an absolute monster of a human.
Oh yeah.
Now, basically, this matchup is maybe a little bit less favored for Brettonia. Before that, it was very favored, but because Faye got nerfed and the Machine Mortis is a little bit less strong.
She needed nerfing.
Yeah, no denying of it, but because of that, now it opens plays for High Elf, and the Dragon got buffed overall, and overall the Martial Prowess got buffed as well. So
which is nice. It was so needed. So go on, tell me all about it.
Line of Silverins alongside some Lofency Guard. A beautifully disgusting box.
Love it.
Love it.
That is so logic, you've never known it. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Maiden, if you hear me out, what about you starting to main dwarves as well?
Yeah, this is a very dwarven box, I have to say. Very dwarven box.
I start to understand why we have rumors saying that ODM stands for Order of the Dawi Mains, because what the fuck is going on?
So tell me a little bit about this. I have a good question for you, because I know you're a good Brettonian player, but Knights of the Lion-Hearted, what do they offer? Why do people bring that specific regiment of renown? I see that one more than almost any other regiment of renown.
So those guys are here because you have basically, for the price of it's basically whenever you don't want to play for Grail Knights because they suck, but you want some cavalry that are reliable, you know. In this case, in this matchup, because you have quite a lot of physical resistance, you tend to see them quite a lot. to match against the Dragon Princes, or they are just overall a great cav for the price.
Yeah, yeah, because Grail Knights suck. You hear that, Faye? They suck. Anyway.
Yeah, and otherwise, I mean, Zombie Quest, I don't see a way for him to win it. Like, there's simply not much Zombie Quest can do about it. I'll be honest.
Well,
not playing.
Well, I don't know. Maybe if we get a bit of luck, the Paladin and maybe King Leonka, the man, the myth, the legend, could come with the steel chair here. It is possible. I have seen Imrik lose before. Not often.
Yeah, no, okay. For the duel in the air, I don't think Maiden should take it.
No.
But I don't see how he can take fights with cavalry whenever there is no support of peasants.
Oh, look at this. He's through the gap, though. Oh,
yeah,
look at that steel chair in the middle there, though. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to Pound Town.
Yeah, interestingly. So... Good on it. Good on
I'm not gonna lie.
Zombie Quest.
A bit disappointed here with the Dynamite main here. AC Maiden, there's going to be holes in his boxes, and he's going to be getting absolutely pounded in the middle with the Dwellers Below going down in the pocket as well.
Good dodge from Maiden on this for this one. I must say, so Imrik is taking a fight, but there's some Overwatch fire from the Mounted Yeomen. And the two, like Paladin plus Luen Leonka, is probably a little bit difficult for Imrik.
I mean, you got Sword of Corone going down. There is also the Dragon Horn that's been activated, but I don't think it's enough. Much better.
Okay, Maiden. Okay, yeah. Instantly, he redeemed this Imrik. That's also why dragons are much more reliable now, because you don't have to be sure that you're winning the flying. Engagement.
You say this, he might have thrown Imrik. I mean, look at balance of power. Like, I don't know, man.
No way. No way he's not throwing Imrik like this. Yeah, no, it looks like he will be able to recover him. And the issue is now that like the cavalry is already quite beaten up, and I'm not sure how you will deal with the Sylvan Guards, I must say. Oh wow, okay. Pick on the Damsel of Life.
Yeah. That's GG's. That's well played. Yeah, that's done. Okay, I thought maybe if there was a bit of pound here on Imrik, maybe that could have been enough, but AC Maiden has just done the business. The cavalry just kind of took too much punishment. I mean...
Did I say that I was betting the ass of Xypher again for the second time in a row on,
you probably should have.
The IL player?
You probably should have.
Yeah, so I guess Xypher, you still
again.
kick your ass yet again.
Xypher doesn't even know. Mr. Prophet Oro, how we doing, my friend? Welcome to the stream. So we see here that the Mounted Archers getting in the back, bit of poke and stroke here as they're going to be leaving those arrows up against the big burly dragon. But I don't know, I thought for a second there, just for a second, I think AC Maiden nearly threw Imrik. Nearly. But it even shows, I think, if I'm being honest, a little bit of bad play in the middle. Some of his archers that often Seaguard did get compromised, but was still able to come out top with a good build.
Yeah, and overall, I must say it's Lofen Seaguards, you know, like, you don't, maybe it's just a bait, you know. Technically speaking, if you think about it, Zombie Quest went for the middle with all his cavalry, but...
they got bonus was large, and they got 52 melee defense.
I mean, you're trapping up some cavalry for that, so it's okay, but it's very taxing for your micro, and you don't get much out of it. So I think it was, strangely enough, it was a good play micro-wise, but it was not a good play in terms of like pure strategy of the battle.
So Knights of the Realm with 90 armor. Do you? I mean, I think Knights of the Realm are good. I'm just not sure that 90 armor is enough to justify the cavalry in this matchup. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, at this point, I would agree with you. I mean, Knights of the Realms are not optimal. Maybe you want questing knights, who knows? But one issue I do have, I would say, is more than that, you need some support of your some infantry support or anything to pull out and be okay with it.
So how do you feel about going wide peasants, wide spearmen, wide archers, and then a good mid-tier cavalry with a few elites in there?
Yeah, I do agree. I definitively agree. For example, first of all, whenever you have access to a very, very cheap infantry, whatever it is, zombies, peasants, Scarian
So
slaves,
good.
you always bring 5 of them.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter the matchup, doesn't matter the strategy you want to go for. Like, you see Zombie Quest going for full cavalry, sounds like I mean, it sounds okay not to play with peasants because they might slow you down, but in fact, in the reality of things, 5 peasants are much more mobile than anything you can bring for 500 on the battlefield because
Yeah.
they can cover so much things, you know. And overall, you always bring 5 of them in your army. The only time where you are not bringing 5 of like cheap infantry, it's whenever you are playing a 20 stack and you have so much found left that
Yeah.
you just take off things. But pretty much you always bring 5. And in this case, for Zombie Quest, what I do like in this matchup is to go for some mid-tier infantry such as pilgrims or even the foot squires,
Yeah,
strangely enough.
I was about to say that,
Because,
yeah, because this would just go down to foot squires and pilgrim build, I feel like.
yeah, definitely. I mean, foot squires and pilgrim, they got buffed because Brettonia overall got a little bit nerfed and a little bit buffed through the shift from large to ultra size in multiplayer because you had so many model counts, so much like you have big units whenever you're playing infantry, and basically you have a lot of models in the units, and it's for the pilgrims it was helping them quite a lot to dish out even more damage and be even more relevant. So now I would say Brettonia should be played a little bit more on the front line. So yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I'm a little bit disappointed that we didn't save Brettonia for this map, for the Brettonian Hills.
Oh no.
I think that's where Zombie Quest went wrong. He didn't have the home
Yeah.
field advantage.
I agree.
But either way,
Definitely.
I mean, so we've seen these now. So what do you reckon the matchup is? Where does AC Maiden go next? So he's played Dark Elves, he's played High Elves. Are we going to see Wood Elves? Are we going to see the true Trifesta? What do we think here?
Okay, I mean, Maiden is, at least as I know him, I think he's a good green skin player, but he has been shifting a little bit his play style. I'm not sure. I would say I would love to see him play, yeah, probably some Empire as well. Could be a good thing. He has been playing Empire quite a lot, from what I remember, so...
So I think here, what it's going to be, if Zombie Quest wins, you get Zypher's house. But if AC Maiden wins, I get Zypher's house. What do you reckon?
Are we betting 3 times the Zypher's house on this stream?
Of course, yeah, of course. So
Okay.
So
fair enough.
If Zombie wins, it's gonna be you. It's gonna be Alfred.
Okay, if zombies... No, better idea. If zombies win, you get Zypher's house, and if Maiden win, you get Zypher's ass, okay? And we are good to go. No matter what,
Hang on. You get like a 400 grand house. I get his ass.
Yeah.
I stand to win nothing
Fair
here.
enough. No, but I mean, like, Zypher is technically my property, so I should get his house regardless.
I see. I'm gonna work up to that. Okay, I'm with you now. I'm with you. Okay.
Zypher, if you hear me, it's important that you know that no matter what, even if you're my property, I still love you. And I still count you as some sort of a human being. Not degenerate enough, actually.
Somewhat. Chasing Rover says Zypher must have quite the house. Yeah, he has quite a house.
Yeah, thanks to Zebus, by the way.
It says Grails and Trebuchets is what Loopy's saying is to win this matchup. What do you reckon there?
Grails and Trebuchet. Oh wow! I mean,
I think Trebuchet could be a really good pick. I think I like
yeah, I
Trebuchets.
think it's debatable. Maybe I think yeah, it has some. It can be walkable. Yeah, I
Would
must say I'm not a huge fan of trebuchets overall. It's really strange, and the thing is with the new High Elf, you tend to be rushed a little bit more because you have some options that are uh, available to you that can make you much more like much it may be much easier to rush now with Imric being able to be played and with his horn of whatever the name is, you know.
his horn,
Yeah.
his horn of
What's the
dragons, horn of
name?
dragons. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, his horn of
Yeah,
dragons.
yeah.
Yeah. Hang on, let me copy this. Copy paste. Right, I need to move this one down here so everyone can see. So, Zypher's. Oh no! Oh no, it's copied it. No! Don't you dare! Oh, there we go. Sweet. Sorry. Bear with me. I'm doing silliness. Sorry. Alright, we'll leave it like that. We'll leave it like that. People know what that means.
Oh god.
We
Okay.
had Zinch against who, though? So we got Zinch.
I forgot to cover it, but I Maiden is a gentleman, and I know him. He wouldn't cheat.
Oh no, we got Zinch versus Slanesh.
I'm betting on Cinch.
Yeah,
Just
so like, it looks like sadly you're going to be taking his house. I think even before Immortal Empires, I think this was a horrid matchup for Slanesh.
free time is a charm. What can I say?
Aye. I mean,
Yeah.
Zypher better find his keys, man, because like you owe him.
Yeah, but on this matchup, the main issue I would say is that if you want to be cheesy, and you could always get cheesy with Tinch. If you want to be cheesy and drag the game quite long enough, you'll be able to kill the Lord regardless of what the Slanesh player will bring. So that's a big issue already. And that's without all the other issues about, for example, playing against blue horrors, which are basically one of the best counter to anything you can bring. Yeah, it's just rough.
I'm thinking here as Slanesh, chariots. A chariot's the answer. Like, what's the answer here? Because chariots are kind of garbage for them, but are they still the answer? What do you think? What is the answer for Slanesh in this match? I don't actually think there is an answer, by the way. This is something that I've come to an epiphany of. But what do you reckon the answer could be?
It's difficult. Probably I would if I it's probably lost. So I would just go for something crazy, you know, expecting my opponent not to like react quickly to it. So I would just go for 12 cavalry alongside some chariots, yeah, as you said, and you rush him like a degenerate, and you hope for the best.
See, that's kind of what I was thinking, yeah. So, like, let's say you're betting Zypher's house. Let's say you're going to win it or lose it. So, you're going to want to win his house. So, you're saying full cavalry is where you put your money. Would you do any infantry, any cheap infantry?
No infantry, but I would also take a lord that is, even if he is snipeable, you don't give enough time for Cinch to actually snipe you, you know? So, what I would do is getting a lord that can chase and get to the Cinch caster, and maybe an Azazel could be nice. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think Azazel was the only answer because otherwise Blue Flame is just gonna completely destroy you, right?
Or you could go for Sigvold and say, yeah, you see the idea, like maybe a Sigvold you just say, okay, I'm trying to trade most of my army for his army, you know? So in the end, even if I lose, if I can get to a point where Sigvold can win it for me, you know? But it's debatable.
Hang on,
It's
I have to
tricky.
tell you something. So Zypher said Alfred doesn't know that my arse is worth more than my house. Well, there we go. We we found out.
We started a meme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen. If Maiden somehow pulls out a victory here, then maybe I'll trade your ass for your house. Maybe that. Maybe that. But anyway, so it looks like Maiden's going to be ready. So you're thinking full cavalry push. Are we going with Marauder Javelins, or are we just going nuts deep and we're just going full cavalry? So we're thinking Hellstriders, Hell Scourgers. Like, what are we thinking here?
I'm thinking of so 4 Hellstriders, 4
Scourgers.
like Hell Scourgers, whatever. Like the guys with whips, the guys with lances. You get 4 Marauder Horsemen, and you get Azazel, and everything else, or you could get Sigvold, I guess. But
He doesn't quite fit there, though, does he? He doesn't quite fit for me.
Yeah, Azazel probably not, because you don't have you have some unbreakable units along the way, and
so it is Sigvold. It is Sigvold.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much. He's done exactly what we said. So he's gone 4 units of skirmish cav, 4 units of the Hell Striders. I don't even know what that is, but it looks like he's going to have the Mirror Guard, Shadows Caster, and that unit that I don't know. Is that the Marauder Champions, but Slanesh variant?
No, it's just my Warriors of Slanesh.
Oh, okay.
The issue is, it looks very small, and I fear the fact that he went for a shrine, a war shrine on his caster, because Slanesh casters can.
That's gonna get butchered, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at Zombie Quest army, it's just a full-on rush. So it's difficult.
Yeah,
I do not.
Screamers are gonna do bits here, I think. Halberds, Blue Horrors. Yeah, it's just cost efficiency everywhere here.
I'm very surprised he didn't go. So the Tzinch player didn't go for skirmishers.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Basically, I'm starting to think for the Slanesh player, he could just try to poke with the skirmishers early.
The good old poke and stroke. Good old poke and stroke. Yeah, I could agree with that, actually. Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's okay. I start to realize it's actually okay for Maiden. Yeah.
Maybe bait out the blue horror shots as well. We can bait some out with some of the skirmish cavalry. The problem is going to be also these shields, right? So obviously we're going to get the skirmish cavalry in, but then of course they're going to dissipate the damage. I think here for Tzinch, and maybe tell me if I'm wrong here, but you know, let's say the Marauders of Tzinch at the front, they take a couple of javelin damage. Cool, move forward with the blue horrors, then also do a bit of damage to their shield. You can kind of mix it around a little bit, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the main important thing is you have to get rid of this War Shrine if you get an hold on him. And that means keeping some of the shots from the Blue Horrors, I would say. Let's maybe describe a little bit the army of each player. So we have 4 skirmishers for Maiden, alongside 4 Hellstriders, alongside a line of Marauders plus Warriors of Chaos of Slanesh, and Prince Sigvold and a Sorcerer of Shadow on the shrine. While for the Tzinch player, go for it.
Sorry?
I thought you would cover the Tzinch.
Oh yeah, I can do Tzinch, yeah. So for Tzinch, we have the Marauders, 5 units of Tzinch. We're going to be having, I think, 5 in total here of the Blue Horrors as well. 4 of the Screamers. And then we're going to have some of the Halberd Chaos Warriors, 4 in the back. And then we're going to have the Herald of Tzinch in the sky with the Locus of Conjuration, the Chromatic Tome, Blue Fires, and Pink Fires magic.
Yeah.
So I think here, like, I mean, you've got the absolute kitchen sink for both of the Shadows Casters and Sigvold. So he's brought pretty much all of their ability. So he's expecting a melee skirmish.
Yeah. One thing I would like to point out is I'm pretty sure if you are the Tzeentch player, at this point, you want to just trade as much as possible on the Hellstriders. So you don't care about the skirmishers of Slanesh, because what will they start to fight? You know, they don't have a lot to pew on.
Yeah.
But you definitively have to be on the lookout for the Hellstriders, because those guys will destroy the Screamers of Tzeentch. And if they can get on the blues, then you'll have not a lot of ways to kill the War Shrine, you know.
Oh, so, yeah, that's a good point. And you can see here, from the old good-fashioned pew-pew, we do actually see that the Herald of Tzeentch is actually going to be shooting the Marauders, kind of screening them away. So he's going to be pushing on the right-hand side there, pushing off some of the cavalry. The Blue Horrors are really trying to get onto these Hellstriders on the right-hand side.
I would like Maiden to shift his entire front line of Marauders and the Warriors to the left or the right, so he can disrupt the way Zombie will try to screen for the Marauders or Horsemen. Basically, if you do an overload on one flank, Zombie will have to react quickly, but in this case, he's already surrounded, so it's gonna be a little bit tricky to react to the Horsemen in the back.
I think this is the other problem with having too few numbers on the Slanesh side. Like, even with an overflank on one side, there's enough units here to encompass the Slanesh army. He's got dominance. You can see on the right hand side 4 units of the Screamers.
That's a very nice play. That's a very, very nice play, because he realizes the cavalry is split. There's nothing to protect the Hellstriders of Slanesh. So he wants to get this engagement going to quickly isolate those guys. That being said, I'm pretty sure Maiden wants to fight this at this point, because the engagement will be soon on Tzeentch lines, and if he can if he can slow down the Screamers of Tzeentch, they might not be able to defend the backline, and that would be a huge blow to.
I think in here as well that I think he's also maybe missed a small chance. Like, the Screamers are trying to catch up now with the Hellstriders. You had a 4v2 there with aerial dominance, which means you were going to get the charge. Is that a missed opportunity there on the right-hand side?
Yeah, he should get the charge definitively. Right now, Maiden is he's trying to conserve as much as Hellstriders. As I said, it's probably his most important unit. But the thing is, right now you have so good of a fight, you should just take it. I don't really like the Shrine being already in the melee, because he's gonna get absolutely dumpstered by the Blues. They are already in line to try to get on it. So
also, there's a lot of halberds in this build as well. We can't forget, although we are catching the Blues here. Nice work from the Hellstriders. They're going to be finishing off some of the Blues on the right hand side here. Maybe...
Also, I really like the infantry manipulation he did with his Marauders. So basically, he went past the Marauder of Tzeentch that were blocking him, and now he's directly on the Blues with his Marauders of Slanesh, and they will make quick work of it. Zombie diving on. Oh my god, that's a nightmare for. So Maiden, if he sees it, he should definitively go on the Screamers right now. It's a 3-2, and he should get on it quickly. But I think Maiden, he reacted right now. That should be a good fight for him. The Shrine is still operational, and I do not know about it. It's gonna take quite a lot of damage, but I guess if he has some good bit of shade, if he can break the front line quickly enough, you know.
Yeah, I think the nice thing of having Pit of Shades in the back pocket is the fact, and there is going to be one going down now, but the Pit of Shades kind of negates the ability to kind of surround massively with halberds and get lots of elements into position to shoot, because he's just going to Pit of Shades them, right?
Yeah. And I mean, this shrine is important for Slanesh because in the situation of late game, if you don't have it, you probably lose to the halberds. That being said, you also have Sigvold, so yeah, it's not completely black and white. I guess it's debatable.
Well, really good work in the back here. So it's going to be a pink fire down the lines of the Hellstriders. I really like the constant pressure on this very extremely powerful unit. All four of these really suffering here to the Screamers.
Yeah. Issue is, as I said, those guys, the Hellstriders, are just too efficient in terms of costs for, like, they are going to get butchered, even with the help of, like, the Blues trying to shoot at them, and overall, even with the Mage diving on, they are going to get absolutely dumpstered by those Hellstriders. Also, I really like, again, Maiden going for the infantry manipulation, having some devoted marauders of Slanesh getting in the back line, very good stuff. Oh, okay, the Hellstriders are running because...
they're losing over here in the backside, yeah.
Okay, interesting. So enough magic can win you the fight, I guess.
Yeah, so he's managed to get 3 pink flames off in the backside here up against the Hellstriders. I know it's only a little, but like kind of every little helps in that matchup. I agree. Say that, but you know, Fascination down on the Screamers. The Screamers have taken quite some damage. Maybe actually they are losing this. I mean, this is kind of crazy here because like it's not a matchup I massively know super well, but the Herald could certainly do some work.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the issue. I mean, as you see, even if you think you're getting a winning fight, yeah, it's just too difficult to play against this 600 cav.
So why are they so good? Like, tell the guys at home what makes them so excellent.
Okay, so for 50 more, let's say we have to compare things that are comparable. Let's say you compare it to Glade Riders, because technically speaking, it's probably the closest thing you can get. And the thing is, with Glade Riders, you have a unit that... so for the Hellstriders compared to the Glade Riders, you have a unit that costs 50 more, only 50 more, and you have anti-large, poison, you have 8 speed more, and you also have immune to psychology, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And you have you have also fear, and you also have physical resistance. I mean, okay, so they just crazy things.
They have the ability called Soul Hunters, which is why I think they're super powerful. So the more kills they get damage resistance, leadership buffs, charge bonuses, physical resistance, Vanguard. Like, these things just they have everything under the kitchen sink. They've grabbed it all for 600 gold cost and come to the battlefield. Like, I think like your like representation there should just show the people at home just how powerful these Hellstriders are.
It's probably, I mean, out of all the new units, they are probably the most busted ones. Because the issue with those guys is that whenever you're playing a Slanesh against Slanesh, you basically say that you cannot win the mobility fight, except if you're heavily investing in it. You know, like if you have cavalry that are armored, it's up to a good start, I suppose, because you have ways to. I mean, those Hellstriders don't have a lot of armor piercing, so they will be a little bit destroyed by that, but not a huge thing, I guess.
So looking at the battle now, really good battle. I think Zombies actually played relatively well, but I think Maiden, for me, is in the ascendancy right now. He has the skirmish cavalry. He has a regenning Sigvold. I mean, admittedly, the Chaos Sorcerer is looking a bit beaten up, but it's not looking terrible. I mean, what's your thoughts? Maybe I'm saying it wrong here, but I think, you know, healing, skirmish cavalry, what do you think?
The issue with this War Shrine is that it doesn't have to be in melee in order to do the Mortis Engine. So, I mean, you have to kill it. You cannot just let it be, you know?
Love this. Melkor's Mystifying Miasma on the Halberds as they're chasing the Chaos War Shrine. So they're taking double damage, they're getting slow, they're not fighting in combat. Love that. Absolutely love it. That is like sicko mode to the max. AC Maiden needs to be put away for this absolute violation in the middle.
Oh, I love the animations on the War Shrine. It's just great.
Blue Flame, though, is bonking on the back door here, and as Zypher would say, that's starting to hurt his arse. So it's going to be looking pretty bad here in the middle for the Slaanesh caster.
Yeah, I would like the Tzeentch caster to dive on him so he can break him, but
Finish
I mean,
him off,
overall,
100%. Yep.
overall, it's probably at this point very difficult for Tzeentch to do anything. Because we have to remember that there is still skirmish cavalry left on the battlefield for Slaanesh. So
lots of
he
ammo
will
left
be
as well, yeah.
he will be able to. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind actually the Herald of Tzeentch maybe keeping the skirmish cavalry busy. I don't know. It looks really tough here, but the infantry's falling. Yeah, it looks pretty bleak here for.
I can already tell that Zombie Quest wasn't very confident going on this match, because whenever you're playing Tzeentch now, you don't want the Herald of Tzeentch. You want the Sorcerer of Tzeentch, because you get a free spawn summon, and it's like it's just so much better than having a guy that can pew a little bit and
It's
such.
It's true. I mean, pew pew is powerful, but I certainly agree with you there.
It's not the pew you will get from let's say Sisters of Twilight or anything.
Of course.
It's pretty much like especially if you want to rush like he was trying to do. I think it's better to.
Yeah, so he's trying here to finish off the Chaos Sorcerer Shrine. I think it's pretty good. Pink Flame's going down the line. It's actually doing a lot of damage. I mean, there's no way he kills Sigvold at this point. And this is the ultimate conundrum from Warhammer 2. Like, the problem with Sigvold is if you leave Sigvold to the end, he'll kill you. If you deal with him in the beginning, the rest of his army will kill you. So, like, yeah, it's a pretty horrifying matchup. But I think, you know, AC Maiden, yet again, has been the legend of old. He has won me the arse of Zypher. And if it goes on the market value, that is going to be more valuable than his house. So I'm now a home owner, and I'm pretty happy about it.
Oh, wow. I mean, it's going to stay for quite a long time, I guess. The Zypher joke.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, listen, Zypher's been working with me for so long. He knows that not only do I already own it, I now have video evidence that I own it. So, and if he ever tries to challenge that, you know, I'll bring it to a lawyer, and it's all on live stream now. So
I have a lot of like things that will compromise Zypher's existence. So, he's basically I have basically all the cards in our relationship. So basically, he cannot do anything. I'm unstoppable.
So let's have a look here. So let's have a look at the Screamers. The Screamers 265, 290, 350, 290. So they got out-traded by the Hellstriders. So 1.2, 390, 695, 420. Plus there was 3 Pink Flames going down and the support of the caster.
What I want to point out is the value on the. I want to point out the value on the Blue Horse. Well, it's just like you see the little they did, and they were paying for themselves and even more. And Alberts were having difficulties finding a home here. Although it's probably okay, but maybe not like 4 of them, probably. I would have loved to see some skirmishes from the Tzeentch side of things.
I was so surprised we didn't, because I think in the skirmish fight they would win that, right? Up against Slaanesh. I feel because obviously they pay for the physical resistance. Yeah, fine, they got ITP, but like you win with the Warp Flame and the magic damage. So
I also think that Maiden got a little bit lucky on the build, because if he was going for the War Shrine was good because he was able to play against a full infantry army against him.
So
you know,
why no pink horrors? Why not a single pink horror in the entire build? Why not an exalted pink horror just in case that did come?
I mean, okay, an exalted pink horror would have been nice. A pink horror by itself would have been terrible.
Useless, yeah. So an exalted pink horror, maybe even the Regiment of Renown could have been quite nice to maybe.
Yeah, it could have been okay. Yeah.
The
thing is with exalted pink horrors is that they can basically they are super resilient, and they fight in melee pretty well. So
Yeah, very good melee.
Hellstriders coming on them, it's not a huge deal, you know. So it's a little bit like Clofen Sigurd in a way. Like they are a little bit more independent, I may say. So yeah, I would have liked to see some Exalted maybe, but overall, just scrap me off those
The halberds. I wasn't a fan of
yeah.
the halberd. I think you drop the halberds and you pick up 4 skirmish cav. You then have pocket change left over, and you maybe could have
And
brought.
you get the Sorcerer of Tzinch, yeah, and you
Yeah,
get the
so
summon.
Sorcerer's Inch, four skirmish cav, and then maybe pick up an exalted pink horror. Maybe could have been the way we're talking about that. I think that would have been better personally, but I think you're right. I think AC Maiden was a little bit lucky here with the build from Zinch, but I don't want to say build roulette because he still played it well. There was a couple of mistakes here and there, but he still played it well. I mean, 250 kills, 2,200 on the Chaos Sorcerer Shadows. Great performance. 900 from the Mirror Guard. I actually think the Chaos Warriors of Slanesh coming in at 840. I mean, they've been increased to 600. Do you think that's still good value for them? I still think they're very good value at 600 gold.
Yeah, I would say so too. 600 gold will be okay, probably. It's difficult to say. We need more tests, I suppose, to be able to fully understand the meta, but I definitely agree.
Right, so let's put that up on screen. So I've officially won that.
Cyrus, we have the final next now. So it's Moffat against AC Maiden. Yeah.
There we go. So that's in the middle. So you can now see that on stream.
So it was a good game from both. I definitively enjoyed watching the two of them. So I think they had some unique builds as well, so it was not just a boring.
No. I certainly think that it was nice to see certainly something different. I quite enjoy seeing different, if I'm quite honest. So I think the problem is, like, I always say that, but then I always being like, oh, you could bring this, you could bring this, you can bring this, but I'm like, cool, that's just the same build. But yeah, I think you're right. So now we're in the final.
Moffat versus AC Maiden on the finals.
So what have we got first map? Schwarzhafen. Okay. Why can't I find you? There we go. Okay, so pretty flat open map. If you're banning a faction right now and you're playing against Moffat or you're playing against AC Maiden, what's going to be your faction ban?
I'm not sure actually. Looking by this all, I mean, I'm expecting some Tzinch ban, I suppose, against Moffat because he has been super efficient at them, and is very used to them. Mm-hmm. For Maiden, it's up to debate, but I will probably target his Dark Elves if I was playing against him.
I was thinking Moffat is either VC or probably his Tzinch. I think both of those are really powerful.
Going for making him play VC is probably a good win for you. Like I must say, I think vampire counts right now it's debatable, but if they are a little bit less cheesable compared to
WARHAMMER 2.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely agree with you. I just think they were very good from Warhammer 2. I just seem to remember.
True.
Like Moffat played with, a lot of the guys there from VM. So and VM were always very good with their vampire counts for sure.
Yeah.
So how about Lizardmen? So this is one thing I wanted to ask you. I haven't had much chance to play Lizardmen, but have you been finding them in the meta? Are they kind of in the middle of the pack?
No, they have been suffering quite a lot. That being said, okay. Jokes aside, those regeneration crystals, they are making some matchups very, very favorable for Lizardmen,
Okay.
because you can sustain quite a lot with them. So it's not completely bad, but like against the top dog, against Vampire Count, against Coast, against Cathay, against you name it, you know, the Lizardmen are in troubles, you know.
Okay.
So it's good against middle of the pack factions. So not good enough in my opinion. A little
Right.
bit like it's not the worst, but they are probably in the lower brackets, you know, of
Okay, well,
faction.
they're certainly fallen from grace then. So if you had to
Yeah,
pick
man.
3 top factions in the game right now for land battles, what are you picking?
I guess we have time to actually make a top
A tier list.
To actually make a tier list. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Do you want to open one and we could
Yeah, let's do that now.
debate
So
about
we'll
it?
get that on stream now. So let's go Google
Because
tier list.
I'm curious about your take as well on how you view the current meta. And let's talk about like land battle wise, I guess, because I'm not good enough in domination to make a statement, even though domination got reworked a little bit, like if it was a land battle. And you probably don't play much domination, so it's good that it's probably better that we stick for land battle for
Right,
our
so
analysis.
we got this up. Let's have a little look. So how do I... Oh, yeah, I need to go display. Cool. So let's take Logic wins Zypher's ass off the screen.
You're displaying it on like.
Yeah, so
I have a
people
link
can see it.
on Discord or.
Yeah, it'll be on my YouTube, so you can see it on...
Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
So the first one is Beastmen. Now, I think Beastmen really have dropped a little bit from the meta.
Yeah, okay, so let's maybe walk our way through the best to the worst, and maybe we... So I think, first of all, that... so Vampire Counts, they are OP right now, and they should get nerfed.
Well,
So I would
Vampire
probably put
Counts
them
or
in...
Coast?
Yeah, counts.
Yeah, so I think Vampire
Definitively
Counts
like
are...
S tier.
They're S tier for sure. I still think Warriors of Chaos are S tier. I don't know what you think.
So Warrior of Chaos. Okay, wait. Let me up.
All right,
Yeah.
so the matchup is going to be Warriors of Chaos against High Elves. Interesting.
Okay, interesting.
So I've got Vampire Counts, Warriors of Chaos, and S tier. Anything else you put up there?
I would
Cathay?
probably, I would probably add Cathay to the mix of things.
Yep.
Cathay would be a good idea, and in my opinion, Cinch is up there if you're.
Zinch, yeah, I could certainly agree with that. I think Zinch is... I think even more so with their cavalry. Like, I think their cavalry is just insane value. Like, it's just insane value, right?
No, I definitively agree. I think Cinch is up there for sure. And then after that, I put Vampire Coast A tier instantly. I would even... You could even argue that Vampire Coast is even better than that, but it still struggles against some matchups. So yes, I would probably put
I'd say A tier. I would agree A tier. Where would you put Slaanesh?
Slaanesh is probably B tier, strangely, but
you think? Okay,
yeah.
Okay. I was thinking
because,
A, but okay, go on.
Okay. Hear me out. I think Slaanesh is an absolute monster of a counter for in some cases. Like in some matchups, whenever you cannot fight with armor and you cannot just blob, Slaanesh will be absolutely a tremendous pick, but it has against all the upper factions they will lose, you know. So against Vampire Count they will lose, against Cathay they will lose, and against Cinch they will lose.
What about Dwarfs? I think they lose to the Dwarfs, but I don't know what you think.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like they also lose against Dwarf, they also lose against Coast. So you end up having a lot of factions where you most likely you will probably lose, you know, and it's good counter, but against some like okayish faction, you know. So I would put them in B tier simply because
Yeah. No, I
they are
agree.
okay, but
I would say
no,
S and A tier are factions that you could pick in your first 5. You know, so if you had a best of
yeah.
5, you could pick them first.
A tier factions are also very good counter pick, but
Yeah, yeah.
or they are like weaker first pick. You
So
know, it's
El Yaki's
either one of
tier.
the two.
El Yaki's the same Brettonia in S. I'm not entirely sure I agree with that. I could see them as an A or a B faction. I don't know what you think.
I would say Brettonia as a B is a solid, but A is probably not the way to go. Brettonia lose
I
against a
think
lot
it's.
of things.
I think it'd be like a B plus, not an A minus, if that makes sense.
Yeah, probably still less efficient compared to Slanesh, I must say.
What about
So,
dwarfs? I think dwarfs are actually quite decent in land battles.
maybe okay. Dwarf is a difficult question. I would like to before to put dwarf on the list. We should probably start to work our way down. So maybe
All
let's
right.
get the worst factions right
So
away.
Norska, where do you want to put them?
No, Norsca is actually okay. You'll be surprised. I think the worst faction ever right now. Korn is very difficult to play. Like Korn is having huge issues against a lot of factions. Maybe not an F tier, but definitively not up to the task compared to others. You know, I would say Demon of Chaos. It can be an okay counter, strangely enough, against some of the best factions, but it also struggles overall. I would put them in D tier most likely, simply because you have some good.
Really interesting. So, what about Ogre Kingdoms? So, I don't think Ogre Kingdoms are good. I think they're very counterable.
Yeah, definitely agree.
I think they're probably F tier, but maybe that's too far. I don't know.
Mm,
Like for example, there are certain factions like I don't think they can do anything against high elves. I think it's unwinnable against high elves or any.
I think yeah we could be safe by in our assumptions, but it will not be fun. Let's make very clickbaitable tier list, so at least people are like reacts to it. You know, that's
Yeah.
the spirit. Um,
What about greenskins? I still think greenskins are good. Probably B tier for me. I think greenskins are B tier. I don't know if you have that in your mind as well.
Yeah, no, okay, no. Beastman is actually got gutted from the last in Warhammer 3. I can't really explain why, or I mean, I guess I can explain why. Because Traitorkin got nerfed so hard.
It's
You
still
end up in
strong, but it's not. It's not what it used to be.
yeah. So I'm expecting Beastman to be at best a C tier faction.
Okay.
Just saying, but it's very optimistic because in our recent testings, in my clan at least, we have one of the best Beastmen player I know, and he has been he's just getting slaughtered every time, and he has been only playing that since launch. I think overall that it is very rough, the fact that you cannot win the cavalry regardless of what your opponent is bringing. Tritokin was doing half of the matchups, most likely. And now, because you have Warhammer 3 being out, you have so many new factions, and all of them almost, like, maybe not Ogres and maybe not Khorne, but everything else is basically countering you from a little bit to quite a lot, you know?
I could
So
agree with that. I could agree with
it's
that.
kind of difficult to play them now.
So
Oh,
we're gonna go into game one because
yeah.
both the guys are ready, and we'll come back to the tier list in a bit. But
Yes.
we're gonna have Be'lakor for the Warriors of Chaos. It's a bit of an interesting pick. A Metal Caster. We're actually going to get some artillery as well, skirmish cavalry, Hellstriders. So they're really going to be maxing out their marks of chaos, which I think actually really benefits the Warriors of Chaos. Having those marks of chaos, bringing in Hellstriders, etc. Very powerful.
Interesting. So, so Belacor. You will most likely always see him because he doesn't. He is not affiliated to any god, and you can put your affiliation on other units. You know, which
Yeah.
is kind of nice. I'll cover the Chaos army.
Go ahead, please do.
So bunch of skirmishers, Marauder Horsemen, Marauder Horsemasters as well. Do we have any? Okay, we have one Hellstriders of Slanesh.
We should have 2, I think.
Yeah, we have 2 Hellstriders of Slanesh, Chaos Chariots, and we have 4. We have 4 Marauders, and that's all. I'm actually curious now because where is the affiliation on his units? I'm not seeing, except the Hellstriders of Slanesh, I'm not seeing any affiliation on his units.
Neither do I. I'm surprised the Marauder Horsemen weren't the Tzeentch ones.
Yeah, I have no. It's probably a mistake, but it's alright. I mean, it's not a huge deal.
Maybe the money went into Belacor. So Bellacor's got the Shadow Shroud, the Dark Master, and magic. So he's also got Enfeebling Foe. He's also got the Whispers of Darkness. So he's paid for the entire kit.
Yeah, and you have also an Hell Cannon, a beautiful one, alongside a Mage of Metal with Final Transmutation and Seeing Doom, and the Forbidden Road. So, yeah,
maybe he ran out of money. Not too sure.
I'll be honest. I don't really like this. It's an okay army from the Chaos side of thing, but it's not like it's definitively debatable.
So the problem here for Maiden, he's also gone for a dwarf style of bots. So he's going to be having Silver and Guard here at the front. We are going to have an Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower. We have Loffen Sea Guard in the pocket, Spearman as well. And we're going to go with the Princess, which I think is a bit of a weird pick. Not really a fan of this. We do have the Talisman of Lower.
A Princess alongside an Arcane Phoenix.
It's going to be interesting. If these two fight well together, I could see them doing okay. But I think Belacor, if he catches either one of them on their own, he will butcher it.
Okay, one thing we have to take into account is that the Princess is probably a good duelist overall. It will provide some sort of like poke for Maiden, and he will be able to contest the Hell Cannon. But I'm pretty sure. Oh no, okay, he didn't bring the ability that is sending a missile on things.
Yeah,
and that's a little bit of an issue. I think it would have been nice to snipe out the cannon with it, but I guess
he's bought the Talisman of Loex, so I'm assuming he's expecting a melee battle with the Princess.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Belacor will struggle against an Arcane Phoenix plus the Princess, but my issue is Maiden needs to get on the Hell Cannon, but the Hell Cannon will probably be protected.
The Hell Cannon is more accurate as well, so the Hell Cannon with the Blood and the Boom ability will take down the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, right?
And there's also the issue that if Moffat gets close enough, he might be able to do Final Transmutation. I don't know especially how bad it will be on the Eagle Bolt Throwers, but I'm pretty sure it will lose some...
He needs to push that Metal Caster away. That Metal Caster can't get too close. That's going to be pretty devastating.
Boxing against... Okay, I know it's generalities, and you should take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. But whenever you're playing in high level of plays, boxing is probably always losing. So boxing is a losing style of strategy, but it is a strong strategy. So it just says to your opponents, I'm giving you all the initiative in the world, but in exchange of that, I've got a very, very strong play. But you do whatever you want on me. And
so, I mean, there are some players that are quite good. Like, for example, Grom Brindle from Thunder Mountains is a renowned box player.
Yeah, no, it can work. But as I said, it's not an easy. It's a strategy that is very, very difficult to.
I find it a negative strategy. It's sort of it's giving your opponent the ability to attack you how you please, and then you're always reactive.
Yeah.
It's a lovely Searing Doom coming down here on the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, and I think that's going to be the Eagle Claw dead, right? Is that all? No, it looks like a lot of the bolts are still up.
Okay, we have a fight, an artillery fight. Actually, it's not that bad for a Maiden. The real question is, can he kill this artillery before it's too late? What I would do with Moffat is I would just start getting out with this artillery, and I will do wait for another Searing Doom in order to take the fight again. Right now he's taking unwanted damage. I'm not sure he wants to do that, especially because at a certain point, what I would just do is I would just send the princess to shoot at the L cannon to finish it, you know.
Yeah.
And it will probably be enough. So, I think it's a little bit of a misplay from Moffat, but yeah, I mean,
Moffat has the range and the mobility with blood.
Wait, why is Maiden is switching from targets with his ball 4? I don't know why.
I think he feels a little threat from the Horse Masters and the Horsemen because he started off on the Horsemen.
I guess, but he has some Lofen Seaguard to play against it, so he's not a pushover in terms of playing against the poke of the Horse Masters.
I think maybe he thinks he can't kill the Hell Cannon. I mean, it is an unbreakable crew, so unless you kill the model piece itself, it's going to be really tough to take down.
Oh, but as we are seeing things...
Dwellers below, that's going to be really good going down there. That's going to slow it down.
Yeah, okay, it destroyed the Hell Cannon.
Very nice. But the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower has paid the price for that.
Be'lakor being an absolute menace, trying to get on the anything he can, just disrupting things. And
so he's using the Dark Master, negative 40 melee attack there for the Arcane Phoenix.
You need to disengage, yeah, so everything is disengaging, and now we have a fight on every angles. The issue is he hasn't been matching well with the Spearman. Maiden hasn't been matching well with the Spearman, and now he's taking a little bit of he's taking bad engagements with the Marauders.
It's pretty even so far, but it looks like it's going to be a really nice Searing Doom. Yeah, lovely Searing Doom in the middle. That's the kind of efficiency we expect from Moffat, though. And one small error at this level of gameplay, and you will see that kind of damage on the battlefield.
I want to see a jump on Be'lakor since he doesn't have his cloak now, so it's much more snipeable.
And that's exactly what he's doing. And also, I love that as well. So we do the good damage up against the Lofen Seaguard, move down with the Terror route, and then a great counterplay with the two jumping on top of Be'lakor, as you said.
I like the play from Maiden. That being said, on the right side of things, you have 3 spearsmen just waiting. It pains me to see that he has been everything was being played relatively well for Maiden. Probably you can't say much on his gameplay on many sides of things, but the issue is he took every bad engagement possible on the infantry almost. Like he didn't play well the infantry, and it shows now.
And he's probably about to lose the game here. The Princess, final transmutation. Be'lakor is doing an absolute number here on the Princess. She's getting shot as well. It looks like she is going to break her, and if she breaks, Be'lakor will
Why
push
is she fleeing? Oh my god. Maiden is having issues because he's fleeing on the skirmishes. Oh god, now it's lost.
Yeah, so that's
Maiden at some point. Yeah, that's alright.
So Maiden did what I like to call is overstaying your welcome. So when he went down to fight up against Be'lakor, he kind of overstayed with the Princess, so she wasn't able to get that scoot and shoot. She took quite a bit of damage, has now been pushed off by the skirmish cavalry. It's not over yet, but it's looking pretty poor. Moffat is now taking a big lead, over 2,000 points ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, Be'lakor alone will be already a huge issue for the High Elf side of things. One thing I must say that is a little bit bizarre in my opinion for the Chaos Army is the fact that you're playing with 2 casters, and I don't think going for mage of metal is really important in this case, because Pit of Shade on Be'lakor would already be enough, you know. So,
I think I agree. I really liked Mofet's Searing Doom. I think if you partnered a Searing Doom,
maybe, I guess,
with metal shifting, could have been quite nice for the infantry on the infantry fight. But I think that's a very, very small outlook. But no, I think I agree. I think you probably could have saved 600-700 gold on the Chaos Sorcerer and just brought Pit of Shades instead. I could certainly agree with that for sure. And then
I start to understand what. Yeah, it's kind of true what you're saying. I guess like Seeing Dooms alone were kind of nice in this game.
Also, metal shifting is really nice. You know, 12.5% AP and base weapon damage on your Marauders. I think that's pretty decent for good, wide, cost-efficient units.
Yeah, true.
But then you can see here that Arcane Phoenix fighting up against Be'lakor. Major life is still on the battlefield, so it's not over for the High Elves yet. Balance of power still even, but we need to see some more healing, I think.
So what I'll tell you some of the tricks Mofet is doing in order to get such a good micro. You see, whenever he gets an important engagement and he wants to be on point on it, he will stop getting any engagement on any other side. So he will basically make it so he only has to focus on one thing, you know?
Right.
Sometimes, whenever it comes to micro, you can get more micro by playing and get used to your units and such. And it's also a little bit like, I guess it also depends of the player, but you can also have some tricks that will help you play better and have a better micro. In this case, you see one of the things Mofet is doing well. So allocating resources on things that are important, but even more so, whenever it's important, you stop anything else. So to make sure that you're not like wasting your micro on other things, you know.
Yeah, I think that comes with a timing element as well. Like when you see it in the game, there are sometimes you can take your attention away from that just for 2 seconds, do something over here, and like come back. I've seen it like with some of the top players where they focus on what's important, and then when there's nothing important going on, they kind of time when they come back to the important bits. So they might do a little bit of move the cavalry here, move the cavalry there, big engagement, 10 seconds of focus, they'll go away and then come back to what's important. Does that make sense? But it looks like here, looks like Dweller's Blow is going to be catching some of the cavalry, but it looks like the Arcane Phoenix is done. It looks like it's not going to get a regrowth because it's at its healing cap.
So the balance of power is very deceiving. I don't know why. I guess it's because the Horsemasters are out of ammunitions and such. But
you still got the caster. You still got the caster, maybe with a lot of winds of magic.
Yeah, probably, maybe. But I must say, it's already lost for Maiden. Not much to be said. You also see it in the balance of power, in the gold value chart. I mean, because you have just a gap of 3,000. The gold value chart doesn't mean much in the game, but in this case, also every major important units for the Chaos player is still alive. So are still alive. Yeah.
I mean, I can see really good work there from the Hellstriders. Like, Mofet is looking for any small misplay, just a second of lack of concentration, and he nearly got his Hellstriders on top of the Mage of Life. Like, it's really, really good gameplay. He's really, really attentive, looking for every single little bonus he can get. Lovely counter.
Oh, interesting. You see, okay, interestingly enough, on Be'lakor, he didn't bring the item of that will regenerate him. Which is kind of like surprising, I must say, because Be'lakor is even more tankier with it. But I guess against High Elf, because you need some routing units, you might not see it being used too much. I don't know. Yeah, at this point it's very laggy. Oh my. Maybe it's an issue. Like, where are you from, Logic? From the
UK.
UK.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm from France. We have AC Maiden representing Canada, and we
Oh
have
wow.
Moffat representing Russia. So, yeah, sorry for that, guys.
No,
But yeah,
that happens.
that happens. Yeah.
So it's very interesting. I want your knowledge. So Moffat seems to bring heavily armored chariots in every game he plays. Now, why might this be? For the people at home, what might the reason be?
That's also something I do not agree on, I must say. Issue is right now, chariots are bugged, and if you are charging something that is fleeing your chariots, you end up on the charge not doing any damage. So, I mean, you'll see, but basically, chariots, during their animations and such, they just don't do anything most of the time. So, I mean, it's a good disruption tool, but if it does not do as much damage as before, probably not the way to go. And I also think that against High Elf, having a unit of chariot compared to 2 units of marauders, and why not, is probably not as good. But he makes it work because he's a very good player. So I mean, props to him. But I don't think it's the way to go. I must say, I just don't like it. Chariots in certain matchups, but especially on this one, I'm not a huge fan. You'll get caught on many things, and you're fighting a lot of spears, so you have to be very high on the micro on them.
Yeah. No, fair enough. I do see here, I'm a bit confused as to... Maiden's got his major life in the middle of some spears, but Be'lakor is very comfortable here to come fight up against the major life.
Oh, you see the animation, it didn't hit.
Yeah.
Because that's the issue with this kind of animation, as also has it, and it's like pretty difficult.
So Searing Doom again on the Silvering Guard.
Oh my! Look at this Be'lakor being able to push around all the infantry in the world. Yeah, Be'lakor is a nightmare to play against. And you'll see if like you don't see Moffat doing that, but if he was in a dire situation, what you can do is you'll start sending your Be'lakor whenever there is no. Whenever he has his Shadow Shroud, so the damage resistance effects. So by cycling him whenever he has his bonus, he will be able to take always decent fights with Be'lakor, And in a situation of late game where you could technically like cheese it a little bit, Be'lakor becomes a huge issue. But he didn't do so, and he was like quite large in terms of winning the game.
Oh yeah, so Be'lakor is absolutely fantastic. So for him, we're seeing 3,000 value there, 40 kills. That's exceptional. And we question the Chaos Sorcerer of Metal, but 2,240 damage value there. That's on 2 Final Transmutations and about 6 or 7 Searing Dooms.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm surprised, but I guess he did work. I'm still not sure though. I mean, it's why not? Why not? But I'm not convinced still, despite the value gold wise. But what we can like on the maiden side of thing, you see all the single entities not being able to do anything against Be'lakor, so it's already lost. Like if you don't have anything against Be'lakor will probably win against your entire army. And the other thing we must analyze is how well the Silverhand did. Like despite not having good targets, like overall,
yeah, they did very
you
well.
can't really catch much things, but they were able to do some work.
That 30% spell resistance is like huge in the current era of the game of very high levels of magic.
Yeah.
the one thing I really want to touch on as well that we talked about. So the extra Chaos Sorcerer of Metal or the Hell Cannon. I don't actually think the Hell Cannon was that good in this matchup. But we've dropped a Marauder Horsemaster, and we've got 3 units of the regular Horsemen. So let's say we drop the Hell Cannon, we pick up 4 Marauder Horsemasters and 2 of the Tzeentchian Marauder Horsemen. I think you're looking infinitely better there. What do you think?
Oh yeah, definitely. I completely agree with you. I mean, you drop the Chariots, you drop the Mage of Metal, you drop the Hell Cannon, you get whatever you want. I mean, at this point, whatever will probably work. Yeah, it's just it's a very bad matchup for Elf, I must say. So not much to be said. Maiden, you did your best. I was very surprised actually that he was able to deal with the cannon with only 1 bolt force. So that shows just how good the bolt force can be against artillery piece.
It was 380 against 420 range, and you have the blood ability, which gives you more speed on the Hell Cannon. I'm surprised Mofet took that fight in the Eagle Claw bolt force range.
I think he wasn't expecting I think overall he wasn't expecting to be able to actually lose his cannon on one Eagle Bolt 4. But it's very deceiving sometimes.
I mean, Eagle Claw is one of the best, one of the best tools for anti-artillery.
Yes,
in multiplayer, which I think most people don't quite understand how accurate the Eagle Claw bolt throwers are.
It's actually, in my opinion, it's one of a very well designed units, because you bring some options to the High Elf, and yet you're not giving them completely new strategies. Like, it's just a good counter unit, So overall, not much to be said. I think.
I do wonder, how about a Shadow Warrior Kite for High Elves? How could that work there against Chaos?
The issue against Chaos is you always have to expect the Hellstriders of Slaanesh. And the Hellstriders of Slaanesh will probably win against everything that is not Dragon Prince. And maybe also, I mean, Silver Helms will also work fine, I guess. But the issue is you're playing against Be'lakor, So he will also have some sort of support for his cavalry. So not an easy task, I guess. That's maybe Shadow Warriors can be okay. I still think.
So I'm just thinking, right, and let me just pass this by you. Let me see what you think. Net of Amantok, really powerful lord. Let's say like Tyrion, and then Shadow Warrior Kite. So Pellicle comes, net him, shoot him, or if he gets on the floor, net him, and then absolutely destroy him with Tyrion.
I actually think, okay, you know what? Net of Amantok will maybe unblock the matchup. One other thing I realize, we have been saying that the Tzeentch cavalry, the Tzeentch skirmishers are nice, but if you play against Dragon Princes, you'll be a little bit sad, probably. So maybe maybe regular Marauders are okay,
well,
but no, maybe even.
You say that, you get rid of the physical resistance, but you also lose some fire resistance as well, so it's probably even.
Yeah, but what about just going for the Slaanesh cavalry then? The Slaanesh skirmishers, probably.
Yeah, that's probably
maybe
best,
it's even better.
Yeah, maybe that's a bit better.
I'm not sure, but yeah, from your side, like from the IF side of thing, Net of Amantok will unblock things for sure. I think they are definitely it's definitely intriguing, to say the least.
So Mossy says, the 17 Winds of Magic Dweller's Blow cast to finish off the Hell Cannon may have been an overspend, but it did finish off the Eagle Claw, what the Eagle Claw started. Yeah, I think 17 Winds of Magic just to kill one Hell Cannon was quite an expense, but if you didn't kill it, and you saw right at the end there, you lost the Eagle Claw, I think the Hell Cannon was so strong, like, I think that it would have caused the High Elves to lose quicker. But I think, 17 Winds of Magic is still a massive investment to take that off the battlefield. Agreed.
I must say one thing is that the L cannon is overall super overpriced or artillery piece. Like even whenever it's not contested, if it shoots all game, it needs very unique targets because most of the time, if it's only against infantry, it will not pay for itself, or it will barely pay for itself, like 1,500 for a unit of artillery that will shot all game. You know.
I think it was brought for Dragon Princes, perhaps. Was probably the idea. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think overall, it's even better against dragons because you can shoot at them and they can't really dodge anything. But yeah, I mean, it's difficult to say. I think overall, this unit, the L cannons, should go to a price tag of 1,000. Or if you don't want to be that disruptive for the meta, you might want to get them to 1,100. Reducing their cost of 100 will be an okay start.
Right, so we're back now. We're back with our tier sheet list. So the next one is High Elves. So High Elves is on our tier list. Where do you put it? Where do you think High Elves is sitting? I think High Elves before was pretty low on the graph.
Oh yeah, actually, back on the let me see.
But I think High Elves used to be like E tier, F tier. It used to be pretty bad, right, in Warhammer 2. But I think now is probably stronger.
It gets a little bit better. Maybe I will put it on the same page as the Demon of Chaos.
Oh, okay, you put it in D. I would say C, but yeah, maybe D. Okay, I think it offers quite.
C will be a little bit too high up in my opinion because they are very one-dimensional in a way. Like if you think about it, the rush for the High Elves is very difficult to pull out because your only good infantry at rushing is rangers, are the rangers. And I mean, overall, I still think it's just a faction for counter purposes, and it's still probably not good enough. Like, I don't even know at this point if they will be decent enough to play against anything except maybe his dwarves. Like they can't fight the vampire counts now. They can't fight the vampire count now, which is kind of interesting, if I may say.
That's strange, yeah. What changed in that matchup?
It's simply because vampire counts got so, like, you have so much heal out of your necromancer, you can basically blob your entire army on necromancers and full heal cap yourself on it. So you cannot just fight the blob fights against the vampire counts. And now also, because you can land your dragon whenever you're playing counts. If you see that there's too big of a good squad in the air, you just go on the ground and your IF player cannot punish you. So basically what it means is you don't have to invest on a big air squad if you want to play the air.
Okay, so the next one is Greenskins. Now I put these at B.
Greenskin at B is probably a good take on it, definitely.
I think they're still good, but you wouldn't pick them as a main counter. You wouldn't pick them as a starting faction. They're still strong. They're good overall. But the problem is that I still think they're one-dimensional in the way that they're played.
The overall issue with Greenskin is that they got buffed, but any faction that is on S tier or A tier right now is a straight up big counter to Greenskins.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much for Cathay, but I mean probably still difficult.
I don't know. What's going to beat their front line?
Yeah, the thing is, the Squigs got buffed quite a lot, so
they got nerfed again, of course, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they are still super strong overall. I would tend to believe that they are okay and could be played. But yeah, I would still agree. Cathay is not a favorable matchup, most likely for Greenskin.
I think all A and S, so Counts, Coast, Chaos, Cathay, and also Zinj. I think they lose all those 5 matchups.
Yeah, and you also add to the list the Slanesh, and you could even argue that Nurgle is not possible for Greenskin because Nurgle will play the blob so well. Like, how do you kill a Kugaf? You need basically 3 or 4 orc archers on it, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just absolutely atrocious yet again. I think. Yeah, they are good right there because they are overall strong, but they lose to anything that is super high tier.
Right, so the next game, speaking of Greenskins against Wood Elves. Oh, an old school matchup, bringing us back to the WWC. Love this one, this one. So, I think, well, old school wise, probably a little bit Greenskin favoured. Old school wise. These days, what do you think?
Yeah.
Probably still slightly Greenskin favoured?
I mean, yeah. I
feel your pain. I hear your pain. I know you don't like to admit it, but I still think Greenskins are.
No, you know what? I don't think it's Greenskin favored anymore.
Oh, okay.
I think the issue with that is people start to play it better Wood Elf from the past experiences, and I'm pretty sure that the nerfs on the skirmish units for the Greenskins made it so it's actually like a little bit more difficult to bring 5 of them, and having a relevant skirmish squad. It's yeah, you know what? Okay, it's still probably Greenskin favored, but by a little margin. You know,
I also think
not
that,
absolutely impossible to play.
Another nerf is the Orc Boar Chariots, which were really strong for them in Warhammer 2.
Yeah,
I think those getting nerfed is quite hard, especially in this matchup where they used a lot of them against certainly range-heavy factions like Wood Elves.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got a quick question here. So, Storikin said, why is Cathay S tier? This is land battles. This is a tier list for land battles. So, with their harmony, they're really powerful. Really powerful. But we'll drop into more of that later. So, do you want to start us off with the Wood Elves?
Yes. For the Wood Elves, we have a bunch of Treekins and Dryads alongside a Treeman and a Glade Captain and a Branch Ref. The load is... wait, it's Dryka.
Okay. Yeah, Dryka.
And you have the Winter Art alongside some Eternal Guard and 2 Orc Riders. So a boxy style of thing.
Bit of Shades as well as the main magic.
Yeah.
Oh, the Glade Captain's interesting. Why the Glade Captain? Is it for the Horn of Isha and stuff?
The interesting thing about the Glade Captain is it's that it will be able to hunt down Grom.
Okay. And it is bonus plus large as well, so that's quite an interesting trait.
I would have loved to see some Mojis Marders in the army of the Greenskins, because I'll be honest, even if you're not expecting armor-piercing rounds, like armor-piercing units...
It's got ITP as well. Like, the Morgrips, Mangin Marauders are some of the most cost-efficient skirmish cavalry in the game. Like, they pack AP, they pack immune to psychology, like, they're incredible value.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think they are just great. And right now, I think the only thing AC Maiden needs to take care of is the fact that he needs not to get completely dumpstered if he gets charged in the rear by the Orc Riders, you know.
Did you just see the Winterheart Guards?
Yeah, they got deleted 2 times in a row by some
by Headbutt.
Brainbuster.
Yeah.
Oh, Headbutt. Okay.
Yeah, man, that is ridiculous.
And also, you have the trolls just dumpstering this front line because it's unfortunate for Moffat. I would argue that probably it's not very normal to see 3 trolls against you whenever you're playing as the Wood Elf against Greenskin. But here we are, and he suffers for it.
So Scroller Shielding going down on one of the Stone Trolls. So for those that don't know, 57 seconds of 20% damage resistance is some of the most cost-efficient items you can get in the game. Really strong there on the left flank. Luke Gray says, great job casting, guys. Thanks. No problem, dude. You're absolutely welcome. You've also got to give it up to your boy Alfredinho. He's an absolute champion. But no, I agree. Like fire arrows with good AP, coming from the Wood Elves, will be really strong against the Stone Trolls. So seeing 3 of them is quite a rare pick.
And right now, the summon of Draika making his line a little bit more bearable for the Wood Elves, but it will be difficult to get an hold on Grom the Punch, I'll be honest.
Grom is caught though, and Grom is getting slapped in the middle here. His bread is well and truly getting buttered here in the pocket. He's down to 2.8k.
Okay, he got out, so even if...
no, I don't know. It looks like the Hawk Riders are coming in for a bit of booty spell.
Everyone needs to pile up on the Hawk right now.
Oh, so. Grom is wavering. Grom is wavering. Can we keep the pressure on it? Probably not. I think Glade Riders are a bold pick, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, they are okay. I think Maiden right now played it very badly, I must say. Whenever you see Hawk Riders trying to get into melee, don't make them back in, like, don't let them back in the air, you know? You see that, you send all your skirmishers, even if it's like skirmishers from the greenskin roster, you just want to pin them on the ground, so you can actually like stop them from trying to threaten your things.
So the fact that now they're going after the Orc Shaman.
And the issue for Moffat right now is the fact that in time, it's losing for him, because the regeneration on the trolls is so efficient, he will probably just lose outright. And I think that looking forward, Maiden should not take the fight, but also try to pick up the units that are fleeing, you know? So you have a bunch of infantry in the back that are trying to regroup, and you also have this unit of Trikin on the side. Yep. Those two units should be out for good, in my opinion.
Yeah, so Moffat with the Greenskins needs to be kind of pushing those elements off, giving as much healing for his Stone Trolls as possible.
I want Moffat, for his side of things, I want Moffat to go on the Orc Shaman that is a little bit isolated right now. But Maiden is not taking the fights, not trying to get on the Trikin, and that's a huge missed opportunity. And now it bites him a little bit. I think it's it's rough for. I think it's winning. It's a winning situation for Maiden, but he's being a little bit careless.
Well, we can see here, so some of the skirmish cavalry is breaking here. So some of Moffat's greenskin cavalry is breaking in the backside. But I guess he's trying to play the long game here and skirmish as much as he can. But he's got to be careful he doesn't lose too much of his cavalry. Otherwise, he's not going to get the healing on the Stone Trolls.
The skirmish game is fine if it was like if you could also get some good like if you could stop all the routing units, you know, from getting back. But
yeah, so the Trikin are back. A bit of healing here is going to be pretty devastating for the Greenskins.
But I like the fact that he's taking it slow in a way, because I must say that it's a way for him. As long as he still has some ammunition left from the Goblins, Wolf Riders, go for it, definitively, you know? Why not? And I think right now Moffat is taking, like, it's difficult for Moffat. Because he only has Trikins left facing the Trolls, you know? What will he be able to do?
He's gone pretty well here with the Trikin. They've managed to catch some of the Goblin Spider Riders, but I don't know. Yeah, I think this is just a losing battle here. It's really uphill from. I mean, you say that. I mean, value is pretty even. And they
very good pick from Maiden, by the way. Sorry to disrupt you, but very good pick going for the Stone Trolls, charging on the Trikins. He sees the opportunity, goes for it. He sees that it's isolated, and definitely he should be attacking them.
Yeah, that's very
I also think Yeah, right now going for the Orc Riders, well played. Okay, so he's doing Maiden is getting back on it and playing it well because he gets back on the Orc Riders, making sure that they are not going to get out of the melee. And he also isolates the Trickins, so Draika and everything cannot get back on the Trickins to help them out, you know. So very well done, I must say. Very.
So we've got to be careful here with the green skins. There's a couple piled in the backside that is probably just, you know, maybe one pit of shades away from being deleted. So he's got to be careful with stacking a lot of these steel infantry units.
Orc Riders getting in melee, but they are going to get pounded. I think it was a mistimed charge from Moffat because you only have one chance. They will be charging and then they are out of the battlefield for good. So
yeah,
you should send them in, send them on the charge just whenever the unit of troll is about to get completely destroyed. You know,
I love
to break their leadership.
Love that from Grom. So going to be using the ability there with Mofet. We got in with the Lucky Banner, did all the damage, got out, bit of regen now, and then we'll be popping back in when that ability is ready to go. I'm loving the pick on the left-hand side. The Dark Elders getting shut down by Spider Riders, Orc Boys, and some Stone Trolls. I think that's a really nice pickup.
I don't see a way. Oh, and he's also dodging the Pit of Shade. Well done. I don't think there's many ways for Moffat to get back in this game. The only way will be if the single entities are enough to actually just blob and kill everything. But against trolls, in time, you'll basically lose because of the regen. So
what about the Tree King? Do you reckon, not the Tree King, sorry. What do you reckon about the Tree Man? Has he got any way back into the game with a bit of terror here against the Greenskins?
I mean, Treemans are definitively interesting. It's an interesting unit in this case because with time, yeah, maybe he might be able to, but we have to remember that those things that are getting terror out, they are not going to get back in melee. I mean, they are going to get back in melee because you will not be able to chase them out, you know. So
interesting point for people at home. The Stone Trolls by the Dark Elders probably want to pull out now. They've still got 15 models, so there's still probably a lot of regen to have and keeping that model count nice and high. Whereas if you look at the other two, we've got 10 models and 12 models, so that regen potential is not going to be quite the same.
I'm very surprised about the fighting capabilities of those Trickins, I must say. It's actually quite incredible that they were able to survive too long.
Yeah, they also have fire. They have fire and magic, don't they? So they're doing extra damage up against the Stone Trolls. They do have 57 melee defense, to be fair.
Yeah.
That's really powerful.
At this point, okay, everything is breaking on the right side of Moffat, and you have trolls being able to break down the Trickins. Yeah, now it's gonna be trolls and the Grom against the world, and he sees that there is absolutely no way to get back in the game. So,
I mean that's a great win from Moffat.
Oh wait, okay,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
Wait.
Yeah, you got it. You got it wrong. Yeah.
Oh, I got it wrong. Okay, well done to Moffat. Yeah, so. I thought because Moffat played it not as good as Maiden at the beginning, and because I was like, I was thinking it was Maiden playing the Greenskins. I guess I was wrong. Very unusual build from Moffat because I must say, as we said earlier, if he was going for 3 stone trolls, but if he wasn't going for 3 stone trolls, he would have been in huge troubles.
Well, it's very interesting you say that because if you look at his build, it's very similar to the Chaos build. It's got 2 units of good heavily armored chariots, small front lines, skirmish cavalry in plentiful supply, so lots of goblin wolf riders, lots of spider riders, archers, cheap front line of goblins, a caster and a very powerful lord. I mean, that looks very similar to his chaos build. So it looks like he had a particular play style. If that makes sense to you, I don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah, definitely.
He always seems to take this similar build.
Yeah, he likes his chariots and he likes single entities that have like yeah, he likes to cycle with his buffs, you know. So if he can get duelist with for his lord or his single entities, he will go for it. But yeah, I mean, this composition from the green skin side of thing is pretty bad, I must say. I'm pretty sure. I don't want to be this guy, but as I said, trolls. This army wouldn't be able to play against the Glade Guards army.
No.
And it's probably also very, very difficult to play if you're facing a blob that is a little bit more consistent, you know. I would have loved to see a Duo-2 instead of this dry Capic alongside a Tree-Man.
I mean, I quite like this build as something a little bit different against the grain for Wood Elves. But I think if you went with Eternal Guard build with Starfire Shafts, you know, Fire AP, you're just deleting those Stone Trolls in a matter of seconds, right?
Yeah.
And then they've got enough AP that they'll kill Spider Riders, they'll kill the Chariots in a matter of seconds, and then just regular Treekin are like... Treekin are pretty decent, but I prefer Dryads in this matchup, personally. Like, Triads...
Yeah, I would say so too.
Like, they beat Orc Boys, they beat Goblins. So I just think a Dryad Eternal Guard front line with Starfire Shafts with some level of cheap cavalry around the flanks to protect. I don't see that going wrong, but what do you think?
I mean, one thing I must say that will provide a huge boost of win rate for Maiden probably would be to go for a Waywatcher Hour, because those guys will have 16 leadership debuff on their shots.
That'd be really good against these Stone
Trolls. And it's basically why you've seen Stone Trolls being less played, because of the nerfs, but also because they are like the Wood Elf players have been a little bit more inventive in their way of playing the matchup, and they tend now to play with this Waywatcher units, and the debuff of leadership 16 is quite tremendous against trolls, and you basically with one volley and good charging on the go, you know, you get a huge punch of leadership debuff, and it's just very difficult to play the trolls. So I mean, it works out on this one, but I definitely think he would have been in trouble against different styles and different he got lucky in a way that he went for tricking blobs. But that being said, it also shows how that it could be an interesting pick from that Maiden is showing us that this way of playing the Wood Elves might be the way to go looking forward if you want to mess with your opponent, if you want 100%.
Like, sometimes there is the expected build, and then you build to counter that. If you bring something wild to the table, sometimes you're just not prepared for it. So, like, for example, we saw no Morgoth's Mangy Marauders. The only thing to do with the Tree Men were the Stone Trolls. So...
Yeah, so yeah, as I said again, Morgis Marauders always bring them, no matter what.
I think they're fantastic. I think there's no way you don't bring them.
Even against Noska, just so you can, like, if you expect Mammoth or whatever, like...
Or even, like, Marauder Horsemasters. Like, yeah, fine, they've only got 50 armor, but at least you know you're doing consistent, good, strong damage.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Like, just already 50 damage, 50 armor, I mean, is already quite a huge
thing. That's an average of 25% negation from base weapon damage, right? So, on average... So you're already doing an extra 25% damage for, what, 100 gold cost extra? I think that's pretty good. And then also, like, Armored Skin Wolves or, as you said, Mammoths. I mean, there's a whole plethora of things that have armor that certainly you could see. Like, I think Morgoth's Mangy Marauders is just an always take for me. Like, they're an ST unit in the Greenskin army for me.
One thing that is, I guess, a little bit less obvious, but still probably always, you should always bring it in the Greenskin army, should be the Fanatics.
Yeah.
Even if they got nerfed, now you can't really direct.
They got buffed a little bit.
Yeah, but you can't really direct
Yes, this is
the
true.
ability.
This is
And
true.
also, if we have to think that they got a price increase, so if it's, as I said again, it's like they overall they probably are not as good as before. But the thing is, they are just too good of a unit. Doesn't really matter at this point. They just do too well to be passed, like to be not to be played. Probably maybe not against like Vampire Count and Vampire Coast just for Scapcraft, you know. But anything else.
Right, so we're back to our tier list. So we're at Lizardmen. So Lizardmen for me are probably on the same level as High Elves and Chaos Undivided. What do you think? They're probably in that D tier bracket.
Okay.
What do you think?
I cannot see your tier list, but
Should be there now for you.
okay.
So at the moment, S tier we've got Vampire Counts, Chaos, what's that called? Zinch and Cathay. We then have A tier is going to be the Vampire Coast, Slanesh, Brettonia, Greenskins in B, Beastmen in C, and then in D we've got High Elves and the Warriors, the Chaos Undivided. So I think I would probably put Lizardmen in D, but I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I mean, maybe in C actually.
You think?
D is a little bit harsh, maybe, because I think that overall the regeneration crystal has made it so it can be very very threatening to play against the Lizardmen. It is just that they cannot compete against most high tier faction, and they are probably a little bit more difficult to play nowadays. That like, basically all the new factions have good fighting capabilities against Lizardmen, except maybe Korn, I would say, and even that is probably debatable. But Korn should suffer against Lizardmen, maybe not.
So for the next one, we are then down to dwarfs. Do you want to do this one or move to the next one?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. If you, what do you think? Okay.
This is tough for me because I think I have a bit of a warped opinion. Hey, Tynod, how you doing? Yeah, this is for land battles, buddy. So not domination, but land battles. I think in land battles, dwarfs is actually a lot stronger than people think. And I'm thinking A or B. Is actually what I think.
I'm thinking B. I'm thinking a solid B. It's not comparable to Vampire Coast though. Like Vampire Coast is another level of degeneracy, and if we consider that, if we consider that Cathay is the summum of degeneracy, and Vampire Coast is right after them, and Dwarf is right after Vampire Coast, then we go for B probably.
Okay.
And I'm not sure. I mean, it's you know why dwarves are like this right now. It's simply because the chariots are not working properly.
Yeah.
While they got a little bit buffed, you know. But I'm expecting whenever the chariots are fixed, that they will drop a little bit down.
I also think like because the spell resistance, the buff from 25 to 35% is quite nice.
Yeah, definitely.
I also think hammers getting fixed is really important for a few matchups. But anyway, Tomb Kings, I actually think is an A tier faction.
Yeah, I mean,
I think they're kind of broken at the moment. Their healing is absurd.
Yeah, I would agree. You know what? I'm putting it in A tier because of the realm of Soul healing wide effect, army wide effect.
Like it's absurdly powerful right now.
Yeah.
Like it's absurdly powerful, and
you also have quite a lot of strategies going on, so it's not easy to map out what the Tomb Kings can do. Probably, okay. One thing I must say is that it might be B tier, just because I still think it's not comparable to Vampire Coast. But if we start, I'm starting to think that Vampire Coast might just be an S tier and we don't really know. But let's put it in A tier, right up there. I think it's okay.
I think Vampire Coast is kind of on a league on its own. It's probably not comparable to the top 4, but at the same time, it really can't be compared to anything below it. It's kind of in a league on its own, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, you know what? I think Tom King is right there. It's well up there.
It's the only one that I can really consider it on a same level. Simply, yeah. Loopy kind of agrees. Like TK is super strong. I think so too. I think they're really powerful right now. I think I've lost actually TK against my dwarfs recently, which I never normally used to do. It's strong, and if you consider that matchup that Dowie was a guaranteed outright win before, and now it's hard. I agree. I think it shows how powerful TK is right now.
Completely agree.
Okay, Dark Elves is so weird. I love Dark Elves. I like Warhammer.
Dark Elf is probably beatier.
See, I agree, but everyone keeps telling me they're CD. I'm like, I don't think they are. I think they're still an amazing faction. I think they counter...
Beatier to behind Slanesh, or beatier above Slanesh. I don't know. Up to the beatier behind Slanesh, most likely.
Behind, I think, behind. Not ahead of Slanesh. I think because they counter a little bit better than Dark Elves, maybe, in my mind.
The thing is, it's kind of weird. In the meta of Warhammer, if you want to see some competitive play for factions, you want to either be a very good counter pick, or you want to be a first pick that is reliable. In this case, Dark Elf is a good first pick. It is overall a faction that can do a lot of things, but it is just not as good as anything above, pretty much. And it doesn't have... You can first pick them, but it's not great, I guess.
I mean, you certainly can do, and AC Maiden has shown in this tournament that you can. But they just get dumpstered by Cathay, and they get dumpstered by Chaos. It's just no way ogres are an F. Yeah, I think so, Hanadins. I think they're so one-dimensional. They're probably one of the most one-dimensional factions in the game. And obviously, we've got to have a little bit of clickbait here. A little bit of clickbait.
Yeah, true. Or Noska should be on B tier.
B?
Yeah.
Is this going to be our first disagreement?
Yeah. Actually, it might be, because, okay, hear me out. Skin Wolves are actually a great unit right now.
No, Skin Wolves have always been a great unit. They've always been a great unit.
You have a bias, I see, logic. But I think now...
I'll meet you in C. How about C? I'll meet you in C.
Okay, we meet in C. You know what? Great thing. C alongside Beastman and Lizardman doesn't hurt my eyes, I guess. I think it's good, yeah.
Can you really say that Norska is as good as Slanesh?
No, but you see
as good as Dwarves.
Okay, hear me out. The thing is, they got buffed because the regeneration make it so the Skin Wolves are much more interesting, but it's not only that, but also the fact that you went from large to ultra size units makes it so Marauders and Berserkers will fight much longer. You have very grindy fights, and the rage mechanic is always triggered now. And it's overall javelins also. The javelin squads are much more threatening. I don't know. I can't really exactly put my I could definitively see them up to B tier, but I agree with C tier as well. I think it's fine to put
Sorry,
them
we're getting we're getting a bit of backlash here about ogres being an F.
Okay. What would be a good explanation for ogres being in F? Let's start with you, Logic.
A great example is spear heavy factions, and for example, very cheap light archers. So if we went up against, here's a really easy faction. I think Brettonia. If you go up against Brettonia, you have a lot of cheap peasant long spearmen. You have cheap archers that are really good against the majority of the faction of the Ogre Kingdoms. Their strong points are their cavalry. I think crushers are pretty decent, and saber tusks are good. But outside of that, what can't Brettonia out trade them for cheap value? Like, I feel like lots of cheap value can deal with ogres rather easily.
Okay, you put like there's something we have to say about ogres. Basically, the matchup, ogres, the faction, the ogres, they are absolutely carried by one unit in their entire roster, and it's our Manitos pistol. Those guys alone are the reason why ogres are played a little bit, because those guys are they are completely busted. I don't know. I can't really put my I can't really.
I think they're fantastic, but I still think they die really cost efficiently to good wide range.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, you're relying on one. This unit is your main unit, and if you have factions that can fight against it, it's already a bad thing for you. And if you have, and okay, let's see. You know what? Vampire count, you're losing. Chaos, Warrior of Chaos, you're losing. Cathay, you're losing. Cinch, you're losing. So I mean, that's
Cathay
a good start.
is a horrible matchup, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, and since you lose your lord, you will be able to heal it, but for how long, you know?
Here's a question. Here's the worst matchup, I think. Vampire Coast. So Chaos.
Yeah,
how do you win this matchup? How do you win this matchup?
Vampire Coast, you're losing. Tom King, you're losing. So you already have the 6 like top tier factions that are going to dumpster you, and it's probably to look pretty bad. Maybe your best shot is to play against Cinch, and it's probably just terrible if your opponent cheese it.
Yeah, so, it's not. But also, like, you lose to Slanesh.
You lose to Slanesh because Marauders with spears alongside Hellstriders are going to dumpster everything.
Also, I really like Chaos Spawn with the debuffs. I think they're really good in that matchup. Like Chaos Spawn, I think they're fantastic. You lose to Brettonia. I feel like you don't do that great against Greenskins. You lose to Dowie. You lose probably to Dark Elves.
I think against Greenskin, I must say against Greenskin, I think it's okayish. Against Greenskin, it's kind of nice even.
Yeah, but I mean, hear you say that. That's like okay-ish. For me, the top 3 tiers are like no-goes. Like, you wouldn't mind playing Greenskins, but I wouldn't be happy about it either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably. Like, Biguns, Orkbor Biguns got buffed, and it's probably going to be a bit of a pain to deal with. And against Dark Elf, same thing. It's probably okay to play. It's definitively not a counter. So you already have, like, out of the first 11 factions in our list, we have 2 50-50 maybe, and I'm not even sure. I'm gonna say 50-50 just because, you know, the benefits of the darts, but then anything else is more or less just losing. And then you come up to Beastmen, which is actually a decent matchup, strangely enough, for the ogres. Lizardmen, and that's a dumpster fire of a matchup. You have Noska, which I guess if you consider that Beastman is okay, Noska could be, but everything got buffed for Noska, and are actually like skin walls are going to be super difficult to play against. So, like, what would be actually a good matchup now for ogres? I guess you could argue that so Nurgle is a good matchup, most likely.
Nurgle's good. I would say
Korn is okay.
It's okay. It's okay. What about Chaos Undivided?
Chaos and Demon Undivided too. You want to say?
Yeah.
Sure. I think Demon Undivided will get wrecked by ogres because it's a very one-dimensional. As I said, the thing that is making the ogres okay is the fact that they have multiple strategies. The issue why they are in F tier right now is the fact that for a first pickable faction, it's not first pickable. But
at all.
They are not first pickable at all.
And I wouldn't even say they're not even that great a counter faction either, I don't think.
And that's the thing. Yeah, they are not like specialized enough so they can counter, and so they should be out of like all the Warhammer 3 factions we got. Alongside Cathay and Kislev, they are like the most balanced factions in a way. But the thing is, for ogres, they are not good enough to be a first pick faction, and they are not good counters. So you don't see them. You just don't see them.
Well, we've got an interesting matchup now. So we've got Greenskins going up against Khorne. And I think actually Khorne with a lot of fire damage can do pretty well against the Greenskins. So for the matchup, we've got Goblins at the front here, including Night Goblins as well. So that's actually going to be the 8-peat loonies there with their nice abilities. Squig Herds in the back, Orc Boys, Stone Trolls, Black Orc Big Boss here in the middle for AC Maiden, who's actually going to have the Rabble Rouse. Now, I use this ability a lot in Warhammer 2. I think it's a really good ability. Brass Cleaver as well was really nice. Get Back here, also good for the leadership. Wurzag at the front. He's going to be having Winds of Magic here with the Bonewood Staff. The Warpaint of Wurzag and Power of War with the spells of Edbutt and Brain Buster and Gaze of Mork. And then just more Orc Boys. So really, really wide here with Skirmish Cavalry, including the Morgrub's Mangy Marauders.
Okay, I don't know. I see that it's very bunched.
Well, the Greenskins very bunched.
Yeah, very bunched up.
Oh, look at this at the front. Look at this at the front.
Oh no! Oh yeah. Yeah, but that's. I mean, okay.
Maiden, no.
Like, that's the thing. Whenever you're playing a formation, especially if you are not boxing, because as Greenskin you will not be boxing after all. The thing is, you cannot just put your units all close together. That's just straight up losing, because you'll see such abilities being cast in and completely wrecked you.
So I'm going to say it now. The Spear of Safnir is it's a bit of a hot take. I think it's kind of OP. I think it's really strong.
Yeah, I agree.
Really
I mean, it's dodgeable, but it's very strong. And thing is, okay, look at this very clever way of playing it from Moffat. So you realize that there's nothing the Greenskin can do to peel for your skirmishers if he loses his own skirmishers. So what he does is he will just isolate it while running back.
Have you seen his entire army? Have you seen as well, like in the backside here, we've got Chaos Warhounds and Furies chasing down his skirmish cav?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's already lost for Moffat. Pretty much already lost.
I mean, it's
so right now he will just get picked apart by the skirmishers, because now they have no counters. So you'll just see the Khorne skirmishers basically shooting at whatever they want, and what can you do about it? You'll also get picked up because you'll start.
Interesting question. We have Spawn of Khorne being picked, 2 units. Why do you think that is?
I mean, they are dishing out a lot of damage on the charge. So if you're not fighting against Black Orcs, so I guess big guns could do okay. But basically, any cheap infantry from the Greenskin side will instantly will be completely blasted instantly. And I still think they will be decent against trolls. So good unit overall. Maybe not ideal. I don't know if I would bring them, but I would definitively say that they are okay. They are
okay. Yeah, I mean they do have the fire damage. They've been nerfed in some aspects and buffed in others, but I'd say they're a unique pick for me in this matchup. They're not where I would have gone. But I really like throwing axes. I think throwing axes are really nice in this matchup. Especially here up against the Stone Trolls. I think they're a perfect counter. But we'll find out here. So we're going to have Spawn of Khorne challenging up against the Stone Horns. They have fire damage, really good weapon strength, and only 70 armor for the Stone Trolls. So maybe that's the purpose for them. Maybe kind of pin them in place. Not too sure.
The thing is, you see the Stone Trolls already having a lot of being... look at this charge. On the charge, the spawns just destroyed the trolls.
Yeah.
not that it's impossible. Oh my god! Did you see the?
I didn't.
The sword. Yeah.
Oh, I can see the damage now. Yeah, I mean that Spear of Safnir, I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce it, but it's a really powerful. It's almost the reason I pick Valkyria over anybody. Like, I love her spear, and then her demon shield is really good as well.
So yeah, I wasn't listening to you too much. I was just looking at one of the fanatic running, like being thrown, you know. And it always like amazing. It always amazed me to see such animation being at play.
I love it. So, what's the purpose for Wurzag in this army? Like, what does he bring for you?
I guess you can't really play Grom because he will get absolutely dumpstered by anything like Valkia, Bloodthirster, Exalted, whatever. Like, I mean, the thing is, any single entity from the any hero from the Khorne side of thing will have fire damage and will also be anti-large and up to the task to bring Grom down. You know, so if you cannot play with Grom, it's either you play with, I guess, Wurzag, so he can bring an army-wide buff, or you go for maybe Grimgore, but I guess it's a very wild
I
pick.
quite like Grimgore. I quite like him.
It could be okay, but the thing is, against good players, Grimgore will not do much because you'll just deny any of his engagements, you know? That's why it's a difficult matchup, probably. How do you deal with that? So Wurzag is probably the best answer to it. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's not an easy one, especially if you go for trolls against Khorne. You're up for a difficult task.
Yeah, I think so too.
I want to point out one thing though, is the skirmishers from Khorne did not do a lot of like value. And if you think about it, they were engaged in melee and they were also shooting most of their ammunitions. Maybe it wasn't such a good pick, but I guess they provided some good support for the melee for the skirmisher fights. I mean the mobility fights. Sorry.
I wonder if Flesh Hounds would have been better to deal with Goblin Wolf Riders and Spider Riders, maybe. Like, so if you went
Flesh Hounds might have been better, yeah. It's difficult to say for me, I'll be honest, because I still think we don't understand the meta fully.
Agreed.
And it's like, but I would say, yeah, I would agree, I guess. So 3-0 to Moffat, well done to you, Moffat. It was well played, and you put it quite a lot of good fights, so nice to you. And well done to you, AC Maiden.
Making the final.
You'll get him next time.
Listen. AC Maiden's the champion. He's been playing for quite some time now, and it's always a pleasure to cast this game. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, I'm going for very unusual picks, and it kind of works. So I'm all for it.
I mean, I've always been when I've been on the back foot against other players, I try something different because. Let's say I play against you, for example, and if I bring the meta, you're used to playing against the meta, or you'll build against what you think I should bring, it can get I think it's quite a difficult matchup for me, especially if you're a better player and you've had that experience. Sometimes I think it's good to bring a curveball, something that might throw you off a little bit. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I think going for unusual picks sometimes, whenever you think that's... okay, let's assume I've never played Oki, okay, and I want to play against the best Oki player. I might as well consider that I will lose instantly. You know, there's no denying. I don't even know if I can slide around. You know, so I might as well just grab him and play some rugby with him during the Oki match. Just change the rules, you know.
just spear him and take him down.
Yeah. I mean, you think you'll lose. Let's say you're playing against someone you have never won against him, but you also don't know how to play against him. So it's probably because you haven't your way of playing against him has been always losing. You might as well just change the way you're playing, you know. And it's it's probably okay. And I mean, the Wood Elf army was very strange, and it was actually working a decent amount.
I think it did quite well considering how much of a back foot he was on to begin with.
Yeah. Like the tricking, surprisingly enough, were just standing. You know, you would think that 3 trolls will be full countering his build, but I guess not. You know, like so. Yeah,
All right.
interesting.
Well, we still have one thing to finish off, and
Oh yeah, true.
it's still on, baby. We have to finish this off now for the people.
Yeah, go for it. I'm all for it.
So here we go. We're in. So we've got 5 factions left. We've got Nurgle, Empire, Kislev, Skaven, and Wood Elves. So Nurgle for me was pretty...
Can you show the?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind, so it'll come up for you in a sec. So Nurgle for me has dropped a little bit in the meta since joining the rest of the factions. Pretty much if you have range, it's getting pretty rough. Norska C+, Land Battle, but Solid B in Dom, maybe even A. Oh, interesting. Hey, Knighthood, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing really well. So we got Nurgle. Where do you think Nurgle sits? Mid pack?
No, I think okay, C tier.
Yeah,
C tier, but the lower side of C tier. Yeah, it's basically a good counter against few factions. But it's basically good against bad factions. Let's say it that way. So
yeah, I see what you mean. I mean, for example,
and not against all. So
like Khorne really struggles against Nurgle. Like it is winnable. Yeah. It is winnable, but it does really struggle.
Yeah, that's a thing. Like I guess Nurgle is strong right now because of the exalted heroes of Nurgle on Oath. They are super good duelists. But and you have Kugaf. I mean, Kugaf alone is already very strong. But basically, if you can't bring down huge single entities, you'll be in trouble against Nurgle. So Greenskin will be difficult to play against Nurgle. Same goes for Khorne. Same goes for Slaanesh will be struggling. It's Beastman will be actually in trouble, although it's probably okay to play, but it's.
Could Gorgons do quite well in there? If you got 2 Gorgons and like Taurox, I think you could butcher Kugaf rather quickly.
Think about it, like you have to full counter the Kugaf in order to win against Kugaf in a way. So if you start having issue, you have to counter it that way. Maybe, but it's tough. It's tough. It's not an easy one, and. Then I guess Empire will be, in my opinion, D tier, despite the buff on the cavalry. D,
okay.
Yes, okay. I consider the Empire right now to be on the back foot because the ultra size change made their infantry stronger, you know. But at the same time, a lot of the factions are done right, unplayable for Empire nowadays. And
I love them though. Like lots of cheap infantry. Pistoliers are really good. I love Pistoliers, by the way. I think Pistoliers are fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, you want to clickbait or not? Tell me. Jokes aside,
I think you're right. It kind of hurts me to think that I feel like they should be better, but I kind of agree.
Okay, let's think about it. In the Total War Warhammer 2 meta, they will have probably be B tier, okay? You change the meta, so a lot of factions are buffed, or at least better, you know? And the issue is Empire the same way Augurs, you know. Augurs wants to be a first pick faction, sorry. So Empire wants to be also a first pick faction, but the same way as Augurs cannot be, the Empire is struggling as well, because how do you play against Tzeentch? It's very difficult. Cathay is just a better version of the Empire right now. And Chaos and Vampire count, same way goes for it. So, I mean, taking the S tier and A tier is already downright difficult.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
even the B tier is
Not
like,
great.
we are talking about dwarves,
Lose.
Brettonia being better.
Lose. Yeah. Lose
Green
to
skin
green
is,
skins. They lose to green skins.
yeah, Slanesh is difficult to say the least, and Dark Elf is probably super difficult with the buff on the Cold One Knight. So I think,
I think you're right. I think you're right. They lose to like B tier and above, and they do okay against C tier and below.
and that's the issue. Like, you start having huge like, yeah, it's just difficult. Then I think Kislev is a better version of Empire. Basically, Kislev is a good counter pick in factions that are rushing. So the only issue will be against S tier rushing faction, and probably also Slash will be a little bit difficult, maybe. But overall, I would put Kislev in C tier, and Skaven is also in C tier. But
Really? You really think they're better than Empire?
Maybe even B tier, I'll be honest. But I guess C tier is a good start. C tier because the issue with that.
Alright, so hang on. Skaven loses to most of the C tier, so it loses to Norska, it loses to Beastmen, it loses to Lizardmen, it loses to Kislev.
That's when I disagree with you. Because, okay, hear me out. So Nurgle is it can be pretty difficult for Nurgle to play because the global deals basically are downright unkillable. Okay, your only good thing is your single entities, and your single entities are great, but I'm pretty sure Skaven will be able to adapt to exalted heroes and such. But at least it's playable, definitely, this matchup.
Alright, I'll put it in C tier. You convinced me. But...
And I mean, even like the rushing factions, Beastmen, you'll be surprised, but they went from being super OP against Skaven to be like okay-ish. It's still probably favored for Beastmen, but not like incredibly broken. And Skaven is a good counter pick actually to Cathay, strangely enough.
Yeah, because their snipers.
But because you don't fight statistics on the front line. You're sending slaves and you're sending your globadiers to shoot at the guys. So their statistics doesn't matter. So in a way they are okay, you know. It's debatable. But again, yeah, C tier, and you could put them in D tier if you want to, but and Wood Elf will be probably a B tier in my opinion.
So Loopy saying Skaven is very strong.
Yeah.
And then Paladins is saying Alfred is getting more and more degenerate. I mean, also Home is saying that Empire will have a time with the upcoming DLCs. Yeah, they're going to have loads of DLCs, I'm sure, man. Like, there's so much content for Empire. But the last one we got is Wood Elves.
Wood Elf is... What do you think? You know what? I'm curious.
B tier?
Yeah, I think it's a good statement. And if you are a little bit harsh on them, you could put them in C tier. But I think B tier will be a good start.
I think B tier because I think they have a lot of good elements and very good. I think they have multiple ways of playing that are really strong.
And if you think about it, it's probably one of the last counter to Vampire count that is still standing.
Yeah.
It's also decent against Chaos Undivided, although it's losing. And I mean, it can fight a little bit the S tier and the A tier factions.
I actually don't mind them against Cathay. I think they're actually okay against Cathay. But
yeah, it's decent. Although, I mean, yeah, you know what? I could see it. Also against Coast, it always has been a good matchup for Wood Elf.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting it to be okay. Like,
and I actually think, and maybe you'll tell me different. I actually think at the moment, I think I prefer Wood Elves No. So before Tomb Kings got their ridiculous buffs, I think like Wood Elf Tomb Kings was like even. And I played
Oh
it.
my. You have some spicy takes, logic. I like it.
Well, here's the thing. I played this matchup against Ducky quite a bit and a few others from RTK, and it was like an even-ish matchup. I feel like it like maybe favored two kings before.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could. I personally believe that it's very Tom King favored, but I could. There's so many ways for Wood Elf to play, so. If RTK has some strange ways of playing it, I could be wrong, and I definitively you could see some upsets in this matchup. So you might be right. I'm not. I don't think my.
I certainly think for the average, it is definitely very strongly Tomb King favored now. But I have lost a few times to Wood Elves where I've been like, oh shit, I wasn't expecting that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I could see. Yeah, I could see.
So Loopy says that High Elves and Wood Elves are on the same level.
No, that's a spicy take from Loopy.
I think that's spicy as well. High Elves are better. The melee is very better. Skaven is A tier.
Thing is against like I have got buffed, but I mean
I did say C tier, but you said D tier, and you did give a great explanation. But
okay, let's see about our tier list. What's wrong? I guess first of all, I would put Augurs alongside Khorne.
Yeah, I think you could do that and probably drop this. Delete, bro. You could. This looks better to begin with, anyway.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Sinch might be a little bit too high up. Maybe we could put him on A tier. But I mean, again, like if you want to play like a degenerate,
it won the faction war. It won the faction war with Mofet, and he showed just how powerful they really are.
Yeah, I mean, probably you would be fine putting them in S tier, but you could argue that
you could argue both sides. Yeah, you could argue both sides.
What stands out for you? Okay, Chuts, I need your help. I think we want some spicy takes that are still defendable.
I think Slaanesh is probably the one that sticks out to me the most. I think Slaanesh could be A tier.
Yeah.
High Elves and Wood Elves C. You reckon they're in C? So that would bring down Wood Elves and that would bring up High Elves. We've justified that. I think at the moment, right, and this is my thing, if you could put any one of these factions up or down one tier, I think it's roughly in the right place. Like, if you could make an argument that Wood Elves could be in A, but also could be in C, I think it's in the right place.
Yeah.
High Elf strength is great.
I'm actually curious, why would you put High Elf in a stronger tier? Not that against Imrik is good, but I'm not sure.
I don't think I would. I like it where it is because I would happily put them in C, but I wouldn't happily put them in B. Does that make sense? That's why I like them in D. I still think they're a lot better than they used to be, but they are
still struggling too much. Like
they have one good style of gameplay, and everything else is meh for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think okay. I mean, it's up to debate, but there's also an issue about High Elf not being able to counter Vampire Count anymore. So what does it counter? Like, they can't counter Vampire Coast and they can't counter Vampire Count. So in this current state of affairs, they might be able to counter the Tomb Kings still.
They do well against Tomb Kings, Vampire Coast, maybe.
Yeah, maybe Vampire Coast, but I'm not buying it, I'll be honest. I'm not buying it.
So let's put it this way. So maybe Vampire Coast, Tomb Kings, Dwarfs, and how do they do against Slaanesh? Is Slaanesh good or not? Oh.
I mean, the Dragon Princes will be able to fight the mobility. I'm not sure, bro. I mean, it sounds terrible to play against Slaanesh.
It sounds terrible, but I'm thinking, like, would Silver and Guard be okay there?
If you deny maybe if you could deny the mobility fights and go for a huge box, and maybe you're fine with that. I'm not sure. It's definitely things that needs to be tested.
Like, for example, I see High Elves and Brettonia, that matchup we saw earlier, going the same way with Slanesh. Now, admittedly, Slanesh does it better, but I think it's still the same outcome. Could be wrong, but I can see it being the same outcome. Tier Alfred, Zinch, TK, Dwarfs. Ogres is probably B tier.
B tier? No way on earth. Okay. I mean, guys, I know it has been difficult. Guys, I know it has been difficult to follow the stream, and you've been drinking your way out of this. But please don't. It's not enough.
He says Corn is C or D tier. I think C is a really big push for Corn.
I mean, okay, Corn in the current state of affairs does not achieve anything on the MP scene. Same goes for Ogres. Same goes for, and you know why we put Empire and High Elf and Demon of Chaos in a bracket above? It's simply because Demon of Chaos is actually a very decent pick against vampire counts. It has to be a little bit more tested, but by the look of it, I definitively see it to be a decent counter. And on the same way, High Elf could be a decent pick against Coast and Tom King, and I could see Empire being played against Coast and against Coast. But I mean, you might see them from time to time.
I think Empire. The only one Empire wins. You're right. Is Coast. High Elves. What does High Elves win? Coast.
High Elf might win Coast and has been good against Tom King, and I don't know why they will not be good anymore, especially since Tom King
I just think
got nerfed on the.
I think they're too resilient now.
Yeah, I mean, the Kepra guard got a little bit gutted though, so might see some resurgence of it, but of High Elf being played against Tom King. But yeah, I mean, it might be playable, I guess, but it's not good, you know. Any S to C tier factions are probably okay to main. In the current state of affairs, anything from D to E is just you're in trouble playing them in tournaments.
I honestly would not be comfortable at all. If you said to me, Logic, you can pick anything from D or E and you get 3 bans, I don't think I would be comfortable playing any of those 5 factions, because I think there is always something you can counter against those.
Yeah, but not only that, but what do you counter that is important with those 5 factions? There's none. Like as I said, Demon of Chaos could be debatable. You could play it against counts.
But it has it's so many weaknesses. Demons of Chaos.
Yeah, but yeah, they have so many weaknesses. I agree. I think it's good list. I mean, we could be. I'm getting threatened in the chat, in your chat, Logic. I'm starting to fear for my life.
You forget the new undead crazy buffs and ultra. Yeah. We took that into account for like Tomb Kings and stuff. Yeah, for sure. We have things to discuss. Yes, Alfred, you're in trouble. I mean, what I like, a little letter. Don't discourage me. Yeah, no. I agree, Nighthood. I agree. Like, I still think High Elves is. I think High Elves are the ones that you could possibly argue it being C. I think it's a D, but I think they're stronger than they were, but I think they were a bottom tier faction in Warhammer 2. So I think the fact they're off the bottom says a lot, but at the same time, it's still not enough to make them worth anything in the competitive scene. Would you agree with that, Alfred?
Yeah.
Like Hanadin's is coming after you, man.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. I mean, it's just.
So what's the most powerful faction in the game for you? If you're saying, right, listen, you're coming into the game today, you want to pick the best faction you're always going to start with. What's the best faction and why?
What's the best faction to pick and why? Okay, so whenever you want to start the game and learn the game, you want to play Vampire Count. Vampire Count basically brings you everything you need to know about rushing. And rushing is the most important strategy you need to learn. So Vampire Count is a must-have, and it's also a very good pick. But if I want to prepare for the next meta, because we are expecting to, yeah, we are expecting nerfs and maybe some changes. So if they think that they want to nerf and buff the units, like for land battle, not domination.
Well, they're only gonna fix domination. They're not gonna fix land battles.
Yeah, but let's hope they fix. Let's say they want to fix units on land battle terms. You know,
Okay.
I think I would go for learning how to play Vampire Coast, because Vampire Coast is the hidden faction right now. So the thing is, it's overblown by all the S tier, but it's up to the task to bring them down. Any of those S tier, maybe not the Vampire Coast counts, but
I mean, Two Kings is going to get nerfed, 100%. Vampire Counts is going to get nerfed.
That's the thing. Anything on the spotlights right now, anything in the spotlights right now, that means pretty much anything other than Vampire Coast in the S8 tier, they are going to get nerfed more or less. So,
I can actually see Tzeentch not getting touched. I can see Tzeentch not getting touched at all.
Tzeentch is an issue about the faction in itself, you know, which is absolutely difficult. It's super difficult to balance. But I would still think if they get a nerf on the blue fire and the pink fire of Tzeentch.
But then that'll ruin that will kill the faction.
Yes and no, because right now it's not only that like it's busted, right? But it's.
I mean, how many games do you go in? How many games do you go in where pink and blue flame pick you up $3,000 value for free?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the issue. Like,
but if you now made that 1,500 value, you're always 1,500 value behind.
Yeah, but like you compare the blue fire of Tzeentch compare it to the fireball, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. It's just not. It's right now. I want them to rework Tzeentch, so they nerf their magic, and they if they see that they are going to the gutter, they go back on the change and maybe even buff some of their units. You know.
If you think about that, they've already nerfed Infernal Gateway. If they nerf blue and pink flame, that Tzeentch magic down the toilet. In my opinion.
No. I mean, okay, you don't have to nerf them to the ground. You could do a gentle nerf, but definitively a 25 damage reduction on both spell would be a good start. And I also think on the same page that nerfing the summon, the instant spawn summon for Tzeentch, and also nerfing the horseman would be good for the game.
Yeah, the horsemen just need a price increase. I think like 700 maybe.
Yeah, 700 would be nice. But that being said, so you do that, and I guess Tzeentch will get back to a B, C tier, a good counter pick faction as it should be, you know. Because right now it's a counter pick faction that is so good, so efficient that it's even first pickable, you know, which is quite bizarre if you ask me.
So I mean, here's a question for you, a really interesting one that's maybe a little bit controversial. How do you fix Cathay without making them complete dog shit in domination? So it seems that CA's way forward is implementing.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what's logic. So you have in both game modes they share units. So if you change the statistic of one unit, you change it on both game modes, and you're basically ruining one of the game mode. If you want to balance land battle on units, it will affect quite a lot domination as well. And the reverse is also true. My only take on it is that they should, for land battle, they should nerf the units, the stats of the units. So as they have been doing the whole time, okay. And for domination, they should change the way domination is working. So every statistics that are linked to domination, that means capture weights, that means moving up maybe the vanguard deployment zones, that means things like that, you know. Whenever you have been seeing it, by the way. Like right now, they have not touched much like land battle through domination in a way, because they have been only fixing domination through mechanisms like creating new maps that are more open for factions that want some gun lines,
Yeah.
but also they have been making the games a little bit longer, so factions that can pew pew can pew pew, So
Pew
that's
pew.
that. Yeah,
The best
that's
strategy.
that's kind of like the way that they have been doing it, which is nice. And I would like them to keep continuing on this route. But what I would ultimately, they will have troubles fixing the game if you are not touching
Yeah.
the statistics linked to domination, which is capture weight. If you, let's say, you want, like, let's say right now, Cathay, I don't know, let's say they are C tier in the scale of domination, which is probably a good assessment. Maybe they are even better. I don't know. But if you say that they are C tier, the way to make them a little bit better and a little bit more in like the middle of the pack will be to give their infantry a little bit more capture weight compared to some others. So you tweak the system by giving them more or less capture weight. So you don't have to capture the points back with your whole army on it,
Yeah.
and it will make it a little bit a little bit less difficult for Cathay, and will make uh, it will make no impact to land battle. Um, yeah, that's my main argument. But what also one other thing will be to merge the two game mode. So they are already doing it in a way. Like domination right now is very very. It's quite like land battle, Uh, you still have a lot of things that are different, but overall, it has been changing quite a lot, and it's recently becoming a lot more like land battles. So if you make it so the two game modes are very, very similar, if you change the statistics on one unit, it will affect both game mode. But if the game modes are very, very similar, it will not matter that much,
Mm-hmm.
So so yeah, those two things, I would only buff or nerf units that are problematic on the two game mode at the time.
So
And
I have a really important question here. So Knighthood said, at Logic, have you heard CA state something regarding not supporting land battles in the future? It sounded like it earlier. So no, I have an agenda which is to completely separate domination and land battles. So you balance. So for example, goblins in land battle might cost 300, but in domination they cost 400. For example, and you balance it
could be a nice
separately.
way.
It's a lot of work on CA's part, but at the same time, by changing one side, you're not completely fucking the other.
That will be the overtake on it. It's either you put a lot of work, or you put, like you said, or you try to make the most out of the two. And I think since they don't really care about the MP scene overall, because we are a little fringe of their of their player base. It's like we might be 5% of the total player base. So like making us happy will probably take them quite a lot of work, and it's
Well,
uh,
I
they just
mean,
don't care. They just don't care enough for that. So
I have a counter argument to that, I think, which I think many people don't see because obviously I see what they talk about. From my perspective, I think actually it was the other way around. I think they put too much work into multiplayer in the release of Warhammer 3, which actually made the single player not so great. And that actually had a massive negative impact on the game. And I think whether people like it or not, you need the single player. Because me and Tisty share the same idea. The single player has to be great for the multiplayer scene to flourish. If the
oh
game's
yeah, for sure.
if the game's crap, nobody plays. Period. But at the same time, I think they put a lot of effort into multiplayer. I think even so much to the detriment of single player, and then actually overall a detriment in the game in total. However, I think to fix multiplayer is not trying to balance for one game mode, but actually to separate the two game modes.
I do agree.
I think that's the only way to actually truly fix multiplayer. But the problem is then from their point of view, they have to have two different dedicated teams that balance out both.
I'm just saying that whenever we'll have like 25 factions in the game, having to balance all of this on two game mode, like as we said earlier, they have been struggling just to balance the game for the past 5 or 6 years, and it was only 15 faction. Now we go for 25, and we go for two game modes. So no shots, like no way on earth they can do that. I'm currently building up something, but I'll send you in MP maybe, or we'll talk after that on the stream. But
yeah.
I guess it's quite late for me, so I'm gonna step back for now. Thanks for watching, and
I'll give you
channel, and
I'll give you one more shout out from my guys so they can pop over to you now. But yeah, no, thank you very much for the stream, man. Really enjoyed it. We want to do this again soon. That was really fun.
Yeah, see you.
See you later, man. So we can finish off there. Yeah, this was an absolute blast. Absolutely loved this. I hope you guys really enjoyed this today. What I'll do for you guys as well is I'll clip up the bits when me and Alfredinho talked about land battles and stuff, and you guys can just take the piss and do what you do. I'll keep that on the screen. But you guys can go ahead and take the piss where and if you like. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this. One thing from me to all of you is that at the moment the multiplayer scene for me seems quite flat, seems quite dead. I really want to organise some more tournaments, but I'm really struggling with time. So it's one of those things that if I got to go organise something and no one turns up, I'm probably just going to have to cancel because I've got so many things to do. And that's not like on you guys. Like, I want you guys to play the game if you're enjoying it. I'm absolutely loving it, and this event was fantastic. I'd love to do more of this, and or as much as I possibly can. Like, I'm absolutely loving it. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you've got anything you want to do, and I'll try and give as much as I can. I really want to get Battlemania up and running again. Short Bid League is going to be going very, very shortly. Just organising the fine-tuning parts there. But there will be some more land battle stuff coming. So you guys will hopefully enjoy that. Thanks for streaming, guys. No problem, AC Maiden. Thank you so much for playing, bro. It was so good to catch you there. They have already started that they will not do this for campaign and multiplayer. Yeah, I didn't think they probably would. Last word is Alfred isn't able to tier list properly. Skaven has enough counters depending on the builds to be D. Gotta be C plus at least. Well, it's in C. Yeah, it's in C. I think it's a pretty good faction. I think with the changes that it's had, I think it counters quite a lot at the top as well. So yeah, it has some good chances for sure to be great. I mean, maybe I thought D, but I don't know. I'll rewatch your stream now. Just tuned in 15 minutes ago. So yeah, no problem, Knighthood. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to be doing some more videos hopefully soon. It's something that I've really suffered to try and sit down and go through. But keep sending in your videos. Keep sending in your ideas. And let's just get some more done. I know I've been away for a short while, and it's very evidently seen on my channel how much I've been suffering with not putting out any content. But I will be getting back to it. So do just bear with me, and we'll be all going through it again. So really hope you guys enjoyed today. If you did, of course, smash that like button. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. And tomorrow I will be back. Maybe I'll do a multiplayer stream with just me playing. And if you guys got any other ideas of what you want to see on YouTube, just let me know. Other than that, should we see who's online? Looks like there's nobody on YouTube, I don't think. We we can have a little look. I don't know how to ODM tier list. New video about the tier list. Oh, okay. I'll tell you what we could do, Haladins. I'll tell you what we could do if you'd really like. How would you like to do a Logic and ODM tier list discussion? So, like yourself, AC Maiden will get in, all of the ODM guys, you guys can pop in and help me make a tier list. All of you guys come in, I'll let you argue your points, we can sit down and have a live stream with it. How would you guys feel about that? How would you guys feel? So we'll get Loopy, Hanadins, we'll get AC Maiden, Intisti if he wants to come, we'll get Alfredinho. Yeah, we'll all pop on, have a live stream, and we can chat about making a tier list. I think that'd be fantastic. Get Pantelanada in as well. When do you want to do that? I'll do it whenever, bro. I'm free Monday. Yeah, Monday. If Monday works for you, it's obviously a bank holiday over here. Sadly because of the Queen. I don't know if Monday works for you. If not, I'm free tomorrow. I'm free tomorrow. Doesn't bother me. I'm free for both. So yeah, just let me know. Let me know, and I'll be cool to sit down, and that'd be quite funny to do that. Yeah. So someone says the true ODM Civil War is coming. Yeah, do you know what it is? It's gonna be like Marvel Civil War. You know, with like Captain America on one side. It's gonna be Iron Man on the other. It's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be like it's gonna be Loopy in a Iron Man costume, and it's gonna be it's gonna be Alfredinho with his Captain America shield. Oh god, yeah, it'd be fantastic, right? All right, guys. Well, I think I'm gonna pop off. I'll double check if there's anybody on YouTube. I highly doubt it. Total War, Warhammer. I really don't know how to check for live streams. No, it looks like I'm one of the few guys on YouTube that is live. I don't know how to check live, actually. Maybe I can search that. Filters. Live. Oh, there is. There's a couple of campaign guys. Is there any multiplayer? Doesn't look like it. No. Sorry, guys. No multiplayer. Sorry. Tomorrow, before Human Boy starts, his tourney is perfect. I don't know what time he's starting his tourney. Let's have a look. When's his tournament? Human Boy! Tournaments. Which one is it? Is it the Clan Rat rank? Or the Gracia Storm Vermin one? Which one is it? I'll see when they are. So one of them is at... It says 5 to 6? Okay. So before 5, or the other one is 4 to 5. So okay. So which one are you playing in? 7 PM CST, I think. 6 PM Gracia. Oh, Gracia. Yeah. So it says 4 to 6. All right, well, just shoot me a message. And we'll get that done. Yeah, I'll be up like 10 in the morning or something, which will be like 11 your time. So yeah, just shoot me a message and we'll hop on, say like 1, 2 o'clock, do like 2-3 hour stream and just chat BS all day. Where are you, Hanadins? There you go. We could do that. Yeah, so we'll say like 2-3 PM GMT, that sort of time, maybe. We'll pop on and do that then. Alright guys, I'm going to pop off. I'm going to skedaddle and go eat my bodyweight in food. So thank you so much for all of you guys. I'll be back tomorrow Probably, well, obviously we'll do the tier list, and then we'll also do maybe some land battles of me playing or something. Yeah. My guy is passed out. Yeah, 100%, bro. How you doing, Poker Rapper? I hope you're doing well, man. Yeah, he's passed out. I should probably take this off the screen now, but yes. There you go. That's probably a little bit better, eh? Yeah, my guy there was well and truly done. All right, see you. Thanks for the stream. No worries, dudes. I'll see you later, man. You take care of yourself, guys.